Want to call this meeting of the Belton Independent School District Board of Trustees to order. A quorum of board members is present. This meeting's been duly called and posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. If you'll join me in the pledge to the American flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excuse me, and the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We are going to begin with a workshop on capital projects. Jared, do you have anything to get started? You want to just turn it over to Jared?
Yeah, I just mentioned that we did this first overview of our capital projects in 2015. Jared did the work for us. Since that time, we have been able to complete some of the projects which are no longer on the list. The automotive technology facility and the Lakewood Gymnasium and the Wall Street Auditorium are now in progress. So these are the projects that have been identified by the board and the administration, and we wanted to give you all an update this evening.
Right.
Appreciate you coming. Always good to have you here.
Thank you. Always good to be here. Also, the construction technology class as well. We did that addition as well. So there were 4 projects out of there. So a few of those pictures are there that you see on the screen. And as Dr. Buchanan indicated, these are projects that were identified in and around the community by the board members, those kind of things, as well as the administration. And so we pulled those forward from that 2015 report and added a few.
Now, let me pause just a minute and put some context to this. Every few months or periodically, we pause and go back and look at our capital project list. The list is, in many respects, a wish list that we've added, and when we periodically, then we go back and prioritize and say, here's one that we may want to rise to the top. So it's kind of time for us to do that right now. We've got several pressing issues, and so the reason this is on the agenda now is because it's time to kind of resort and reprioritize and to decide, make some decisions. We do have some money available and some fund balance that we can use, and so that gives us an opportunity to perhaps address these. But that's the timing of this. We don't do this every month. We don't do it even all that often. But when we do, it's the list we have is not in rank order. It's just in order. Some of those items we've pulled out before and done. Some of them we may decide aren't as high a priority anymore as we once thought, in fact, they were. So that's really the context of what we're doing. So, and you've added some previous reports as well as some current updates. So just want to make sure we have context for what we're doing.
And there is one item that we previously identified and had intended to move forward with. Jared will speak to project number 4. The gymnasium demolition and parking construction. We relocated our early Head Start program and haven't gotten back to that project, so we can
In
speak
fact,
to
that was the next priority, the next one on our list, I believe, that we haven't done. Everything else that we had put on as a top priorities, we have completed.
That's correct.
That was what you were identifying, those projects. The one that we haven't gotten to, but we may need to rethink that and whether that's our next priority.
That's correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So sum it up, what I was going to leave it as is, are there things that the board wants to prioritize, or are there things that the board wants to eliminate on this list is really kind of what we're looking for, is there to move forward. So we have a report. It's included in the board packet, and this is the first of one of the reports. The second report is actually the swim center report that was produced at that same time period in, I think, 2014 is when we actually issued it. So we've included the same report, and I'll go over that content. But just so you know, that's where Project 11 isn't listed in the first one as far as the content. It's all in the second report. So as you go through the project, and this is small on the screen, but it's got all the information there for there. And basically, this is just a summary sheet starting from project number 1, the CTE additions, working all the way through that project 11. And that then gives you the title of the project and then some of the cost options here. Same thing, title and then cost options. And I'll note that several of them we gave options in and of itself, i.e. when we talked about the baseball fields, when we met with the coaches, there was an option to turf the entire field or turf just the infield for baseball. And so that's why in each one of the projects, you'll see little sub-options through there. So tonight, I wanted to quickly step through each one of the projects and cover those and remind those who had heard it before, but then as well as then cover the content again for new ones. So feel free to jump in with any questions as I go through the process. So the first project is the CTE programs and additions. And so this is one that was pulled forward last time, and that's where the automotive technology facility as well as the construction technology edition came from Belton High School. And so it was our opportunity to go back and relook at the CTE programs as we're thinking about those projects being complete, what are the next step, and how do we continue to support the Belton ISD students. And the only other addition that I'd put in there is Lake Belton High School. Is thinking not only what do we need today, but what happens in 2 years as we move forward. And so in the end, at the bottom, and you'll see there's 3 bullet points here that really identify those key strengths in there. And first is really supporting programs with strong enrollment and strong workforce demand. So that's driving programs that kids want to be in, but then the other side of that coin is that then they can get jobs or careers, lead into careers after secondary education. Number 2 is bringing the CTE pathways together. And so this is kind of a twofold scenario. One is there are classes currently within Belton High School that literally are across the campus, but they're very highly related. And that purely comes down to a space and location standpoint. So we see that being resolved once the split between Lake Belton and Belton High School occurs, that there will be space that opens up, that some of that can rearrange. However, there's other programs like biomedical that are currently taught off-site that it would be great as that space opens up to bring those into the fold of Belton High School. Programs like biomedical will have a space in Lake Belton High School, so it'll be Belton High School that one's a little bit different. And that's really then bullet point number 3 is the impact of Lake Belton High School. And this one is a little bit unknown of at what point the district decides to go through boundaries. Is there a difference in students that attend Lake Belton High School and Belton High School, and how does that shift CTE preferences between the two? That will have to be an ongoing preference, and I'm sure will evolve each and every year as you roll in through new students. So in the end, we were able to sit down with the CTE director, Stephanie Ferguson, kind of go through this content, talk through the options, and really updated this chart here, which is the same chart that we had presented in the 2015 report. And basically what it goes through, and there's 2 main things, is one is across the top are the actual CTE functions, and then along the left side are what we called level 1, 2, and 3. And basically it was this is the bare minimum, this is what we would like to have, and this is what we would love from that standpoint as we went through that process. And so you'll notice in the construction technology that was completed, that we went ahead and did the addition. That was the canopy along the west side of the building. So that one is done, so they don't have additional need at this point that they've identified. As well as then as you look on the lower section, the automotive technology, that one is completed. And that was the new standalone facility at Belton High School versus renovating the existing facility directly adjacent to this campus. So the 3 things that remain are the woodworking and millworking shop. So here you'll see that there's no work in level 1 and level 2, and the love would be an additional woodworking shop on on Belton High School campus.
Is there a shop at Lake Belton?
There is several shops there, including ability to handle wood as well as welding.
That may take care of that need. Just numbers wise, we're gonna reduce that.
Exactly.
Hope.
Yep, that is the hope. So as we go through there.
We in effect are accomplishing that by building it.
Correct, and when this was added, the enrollment, they had extra students wanting to enroll, but they didn't have space for them, and there wasn't sure if we could justify 2 sections of it, but I think once it splits, then you'll be able to better identify that if there still continues to be a need. So then the next section is the ag mechanics and welding here. That's this third column on the top row. And so then there's three different options, and a lot of this had to do with the base course taught to freshmen, as well as the capstone course that's taught at the senior level. That's a double intake. And so here, the three different options are providing the 2,500 square foot facility. Option level 2 is a 2,500 square foot facility and a covered area for storage. And then level number 3 would be a new ag mechanic shop on this one.
So again, what does it, like Belton High School, take care of what of those?
It would take care of, in essence, all three of those, and again, should split between the two. And the challenge has been is, right now at Belton High School, it's dealing with that freshman class and the senior class, as well as project space. And I believe since the time we originally wrote this, a new welding teacher has come on and been able to organize and work within that, still meet the Skills USA competition and kind of working through that. Space does become an issue of you're still working in with one volume, but I think they're continuing to manage at that point.
But we're getting a theme here. We need more space because we have more students, but we've addressed it with our additional high school in lieu of building additional facilities at Belton High School.
That is correct. Building 400,000 square feet of new facility,
That helps.
which is out to bid right now.
Yes.
Yeah. So automotive tech we talked about, and the last one then is health science. And so that is currently located off campus here on, it's 4th Street, or 6th Street, or no. Yeah, always get it wrong. Or is it 2nd Street? The old 6th Street, sorry, on 6th Street. And so that is a standalone facility, and the bus routes currently go between Belton High School, the ag facility, New Tech, and health science, and basically make the routes. And so the desire is then, again, to pull those classrooms to Belton High School so they're readily available to students, decreasing the need for buses. But again, here, this may be that opportunity as the student population decreases on Belton High School campus, that then the classrooms open up to be able to teach these.
Realistically, that's going to be 4 years
Yeah,
out.
it's-
That's not happening. I mean, we solve some of these problems in 2 years, but really,
Correct.
that number's not coming down for 3 and 4 years.
Because we're taking the 9 offline and we're not opening with 9th through 12th, it will take a couple of
Yeah.
years to realize the space that might be available at Belton
Be
High School.
interesting if they will, to see if they will ever really be able to accomplish that. But
And so out of any of the projects, Ms. Ferguson identified that was the highest need of the ones that were on here.
Health science.
So that's project number 1. Project number 2 is taking the old paint shop that is adjacent to this building, and you'll see that there's a red square located right here on the screen and
that
directly,
is the old choir room,
old choir room.
Belton Junior High and Belton High School. Yeah.
And so right now, you have the small gym next to that and the large gym. And then this is the building between this and the administration building is now the Hack Shack. And so then there was a desire then to add additional classroom space to support New Tech High School. And so this was basically looking at a total renovation of this facility. It's currently used by the maintenance department as the paint shop. So you walk in there, there's lots of paint cans, fun stuff going on in there. But basically gutting that out and cleaning that into 2 classrooms here. There's some challenges that we'd have to go through in terms of ADA access because it actually has a ramp inside of it and slope and those kind of things, but all that would be addressed within this addition.
So two new classrooms, is that what you said?
Mhm.
Are they, I'm trying to remember what it looks like in there. It's just pretty basic, but I remember it was choir rooms for years. I mean, that was what it was used for, so it was a music area at least.
Yeah, so in essence, there's 2, I would say that with that in mind, there's 2 classrooms, one on each end, and in the middle are practice rooms.
Right.
And that middle has it's a really steep ramp. It's probably a 3-to-1 slope between the 2 spaces that we would have to go through and kind of configure to make one side or the other in terms of location.
This would give New Tech some additional classrooms. They're a little tight. They've been asking for some additional space there. When and if we're able to do it.
But we have to, anytime you relocate somebody, where do they go then? Does that create a domino problem here?
Yeah. David, we did talk to David Bennett. He said he can accommodate the paint shop in one of his other buildings.
I've got a quick question. just before we move on, are these in rank order?
They're not.
No.
Okay,
They're not, and the one thing that I did not point out, and we had kind of hit on it right beforehand, is before projects, it's 4, 5, 9, and 10, and you'll see right before it is a little asterisk. And those were the projects that were identified as a priority by administration, that, you know, those would be the, let's consider these first, but others are an option along the way there.
Yeah, but that's what we're here to do. They're in order. We have resorted them and pulled out, and like I said, the last time, I think if my memory is right, the demolition and parking area would be the top priority of what our previous conversations were. Does
That is
sound right?
correct.
Okay,
What is-
but whether that would be going forward is what we're
Yeah.
here to talk about tonight.
And going into this, I know we have some money left from some other things. What, do we have a budget in mind? I mean, when we're looking at some of these and say $8 million worth, we don't have 8 million laying around, do we?
We don't.
No.
So what are we
Um,
looking at? What can we spend?
Sure, we have an account with 1.3 in it that would start a project, and then if we wanted to pull in some additional fund balance to fund a project, we could do that. And so tonight we're looking for some guidance from you on what you think is important for us to continue to plan and move forward with.
But that's a really great point. We can't, an $8 to $10 million project
This is
may
a-
not be realistic. And we've done that every time. That's part of it. So okay, what's realistic, and so how we begin to rank is
Yeah, it's an ongoing.
with available
it's a-
funds,
It's,
2 million?
I think so.
probably.
It's an ongoing working list that we've had for a couple of years, and like we said, we've been able to accomplish some of the things, some of the projects that are listed, and so we wanted to review those with you to see if there is a project that you want us to continue to plan for.
And so remember, we use, budgeting wise, we use some of our unused other money budgeting wise to do capital projects. We may not budget a lot of money for capital. We do some budgeting of capital items, but we are able also, when we get to the end of the year, say, we're gonna have some leftover budgeted funds that we could go back to our need list and identify what off of that list should rise to the top, so. So you're right on track. That's exactly the right
Finish this
question.
bond program in a couple
do the
of
same
years,
thing.
we may be able to identify some funding to fund some of these projects as well.
Because you hope there's some money left out of that bond funds, right? You hope.
We hope
We'll see. That's out to bid. We'll
it
see.
is out to bid.
Desire. Yes.
Okay.
So project number 3 is related to parking at Lake Belton, or at Belton High School, supporting Tiger Stadium. And so the original request, and you'll see that there's 2 parts. Request A, or Part A, is this area in red, directly located adjacent to the west side of the stadium. It's an existing grass area, and it was used for parking during games. And so some of the challenges were, one, it was used for parking and it's just a field, but then as well as then afterward, after a rain, it was often muddy, and so it was a challenge then to continue use as a field here. As we talked about it, this was additionally challenged because this was the discus and javelin areas for track and field. So how did that balance with the parking and use? And so since this time, a gate and fence have been added around the property to basically lock off the use of this and protect those areas. So it's become less of a priority in that regards, but
Really, this is a great example of, at one time, this kind of rose up as, ooh, we really ought to look at that. And now it's kind of, maybe this shouldn't even be on our list. Is that?
Because once we get the new high school, Friday nights are gonna, the
Changes a
crowds
little
are
bit,
gonna be
but we
smaller.
changed the use of that area, and we need that for what it is, and they put that,
And once
bar
Jared
fence.
started analyzing and studying it, we discovered we needed that field for it. Otherwise, we would have displaced
right,
those field events.
exactly,
That's
that's,
really not
so
anywhere
that
else
was an
around.
idea that got on our list, that at least, is there a consensus that we might want to just remove that from the list and just take that off at this point?
I think so.
Good deal.
And the fencing and the gate seemed to have
Yeah.
solved the problem that the board had identified with the mud.
What are we parking out there now on Fridays when it's not wet? 100 cars or so?
I don't know the exact number,
Probably.
but a good number
It's
of
nice to
cars.
have when it's dry.
A little overflow, yeah, when it's dry.
And we
But
can
it's
open the gates
important
when
to
it's
use
dry.
for the field events, so we don't want to change that. Good.
Yeah.
That's progress.
Eliminate number 3. Yep. So then number 4, this is the one that you referenced, would be moving towards the top. And so this is on the administration campus. And so the building that is in red that's shown is the old gymnasium and what was Head Start when this report was originally issued. So it's basically classroom type spaces on the south end, large gymnasium space in the central, and on the north, there's administration offices. Currently, as it sits today, it's the surplus area for the district is what it's used for. And so right now, this project is looking at demolishing that building in its entirety, raising it, and then going back with a new parking lot. And so the idea would be is that could be used as additional parking on site to be able to serve the administration, central administration building, be able to support professional development, those type of events where you're bringing people in.
New tech,
And
Bex.
Bex.
New tech and Bex.
Everybody, premium of parking around this area.
Well, and once we get the Wall Street
And the Wall Street Auditorium.
up and going, and we
Yeah.
have more events there, then that would be
Exactly.
good for,
Yes,
Not as
this
point.
parking lot is greatly needed in this area, and it was a high priority for us. However, we did need to relocate the Early Head Start program, which we have done. We moved them into the Belton Early Childhood School into their own section, and that's been highly successful. Janelle's here this evening, so appreciate
We're
it.
gonna talk about her a little bit later.
Okay.
So that's still, are those estimates current?
It's-
So updated?
All the numbers in this report have been updated since the previous. So if we carried the project forward, we moved it to today's dollars
Okay.
and carried that forward. So yes. Any questions
So
on that?
just to make sure I understand, it's 830,000 plus 40 and 75.
If you wanted all those things, that is correct.
Well, you
So-
kind of, what entrance, I'm sorry. What's-
If we do decide to do that, this project at some point, how hard would it be to, when we're demolishing things, to save sections of the gym floor
Exactly.
for people that like to have a little chunk of that history?
Oh, yeah, that's a
Jim?
fundraiser.
Gym floors are that one should be very easy to
Very
save, so
Yeah,
shouldn't be a
Lot of good
problem.
Things happen on that floor.
absolutely.
Ty wants that floor.
What is the,
Clearly,
for the right price?
He's
we
our
can
first
use the whole
owner.
floor, Ty.
I'm good.
About 800,000.
What are entrance modifications? What is entrance to what?
entrance into this building?
This building. So that
Yes.
includes this entry right here, right?
That is correct. So right now, there's steps on that side, there's not an ADA access. As you look at professional development, one, it'd be nice to have an entrance that speaks a little bit more, but then also we talk about safety, security. As we get into the next project, there's a discussion about, do we move HR into this section of the building and be able to support that as well?
So that would put that up over, right at $1 million altogether if you did the other things, the park lot lighting. and
950,
everything.
945?
A little over now.
940, yeah.
We would like to move human resources to this end of the building and have a face for that department. When people come in, they're very crowded in the area that they're in, so just more growing pains.
And again, I want to say, this has been some long-range planning. We've talked about this for years.
We have.
Moving, kind of shifting, just the way you enter, where do you park to get into this building if you're applying, if you're going to HR services, if you're coming for training. But the dual purpose of New Tech, Bex, triple, New Tech, Bex, and admin really has always made sense. It's just never gotten to the funding priority level.
It's hard to fund the parking lot when you've got 100 other projects across the district.
Exactly.
And especially, it's not a $75,000 parking lot, it's $1 million parking lot.
Demolition. And that's the challenge of being a fast-growth school district. So we're balancing the growth of our student population with all of the needs of the district.
And what's that building used for now?
Surplus,
Storage,
Storage.
it's
It's-
unusable.
most of it's unusable stuff.
The floor is only good for trophies, displays, right?
So then that leads right into project number 5, which is renovating a portion of this building here. And so you'll see the graphics. So we've had the discussion with administration about some of the goals, which include providing a new secure entrance. So that would be that idea of supporting HR.
Well, that's I guess what I'm curious, but you added entrance modifications on the previous one, but it's also here. So which is which?
Well, and so we'd have to look at that as, right now, we kind of have them as individual projects, like they would be standalone, so you could do the parking or you could do the administration, but there'd be some synergy if you did both.
If you did both, they go together.
Correct.
So it's not duplicating the cost.
Correct.
Okay.
And so then we'd get so with that, we'd get the new secure entrance, which
And
is,
obviously, these are preliminary estimates. They're not bids. By
That is
any
correct.
means, So it's an early
yep.
process.
So we get the new secure entrance, which is more about like a secure entry vestibule type of thing, somebody there to greet you. Then we get the new parking, departmental needs, which is the HR, and being able to reshuffle that. And then in general, wayfinding is how many times people say, well, the Tiger Room, make a left, go down the hall, and you'll see on those kind of things of really be able to support that. Luckily, they're all lefts. There's not too many rights within there.
It is quite the maze.
They're all right.
And so the way that we've worked this one is a fairly mild renovation, $25 a square foot really helps interior finishes a little bit, subdivides some of the rooms. And we did that across a third of the building. So this building's 50,000 square feet, so roughly 15,000 square feet of space that we'd renovate 25,000 square feet, or $25 a square foot, so that gets to that $900,000.
But you're not talking about renovating the entire thing. It's, I guess what I'm,
That is correct, 1/3.
help me shade in what you're looking at.
So we have not identified that specific area, so what we would want to do, if this is of interest, as we talk about professional development, as we talk about HR, opening new entrance, that we'd want to then sit down with the departments and say, we need these many seats in the office, or these many offices, those kind of things, and really work through how that can best suit Belton ISD, as well as, is there a change to the boardroom, and, does it become more of a classroom style, those kind of things along the way. Okay?
Okay.
Number 6 and number 7. So this is Belton High School, and this is, as we finished Tiger Stadium and replaced that field with turf, we came back and looked at the baseball, softball fields as well. So that was kind of we did one, let's do the other two along the way. And so we used the same material surface system setup that we'd used on Tiger Stadium and looked at applying that to the baseball and softball complex, so you can get a grasp of the size. A baseball field is roughly the same square footage as a football field. So it's roughly the same cost as a baseball field as the football field, as well as,
Think about it.
do what? It's 100,000, so it's almost 2.5 acres. Yeah, so I mean, it's quite a bit of area, so hence the pricey tag on it. And our anticipation, we have not done geotechnical borings, but the anticipation is that the soil underneath these fields will be very similar to Tiger Stadium,
Which is a problem.
we wanted to remediate. That if we're going to invest that kind of money, we want to make sure it's done right.
So Jared, remind me, or I don't remember, did we put in turf field as an alternate on Lake Belton High School?
So right now, it is not something that we have been carrying as an alternate. We've been working with Bartlett Cock and going through the pricing. It's been a request along the way of how do we want to do this. In November, I think it was, we presented a list of alternates, and that was an optional alternate, and it was decided to leave it as an optional alternate, meaning that we would not carry it forward in documentation.
Okay, so here's my question, I guess, in that, and, this is the cost to retro. Whether we'd want to do that or not is a question, but set that aside. This is the cost if we wanted to consider doing it. But it seems like, okay, we've got soil issues here on top of that, but it seems like it's significantly cheaper to do it at the front end than to retro, because you don't have to put irrigation in like you do, all the stuff that you do. So I'm wondering, I guess what I'm curious about is, how different would the price be to do it at the new and figure out, I don't know, this is a question, if we even want to have this raised out as a possibility, would we want it at one and not the other and work out some sharing? I've heard softball and baseball people say we could share if we'd have one in this area that was, because when it rains, their stuff.
Right.
And I've heard that over and over and over, but I guess my question is, how much savings would it be to do it at the front end on the new school as opposed to trying to retro this bad soil area? Is there any way to know that?
So let me, I'll add a couple things. So real quick on this one, what we're looking at is infield versus, or entire field for baseball, or outfield versus entire field for softball. So there's some variations, so we could look at those kind of options at Lake Belton High School as well. As we've been carrying the numbers on Lake Belton High School, I don't have the exact figures, but it's roughly, I think, $600,000 and $900,000 for softball and baseball that we've been estimating with at Lake Belton High School. So, I mean, it's $1.5 million premium to what we currently have. Yes, there would be some savings as you stand here today and looking at renovating those fields. I would
You're
think.
saying we could do both of them at the new school for $1.5 million, but here you're saying it'd be like 5.5.
So, yeah, so so right now I would say the savings is
Five and-
maybe $100,000, somewhere in there, maybe less, of doing it today for Lake Belton High School. You're not reworking certain things like irrigation actually in the field. You're still gonna want water out there, those kind of things. There is some savings, not huge. Lake Belton High School, when you go out there and you look at the soils, you dig down 3 feet and you hit solid rock, pretty much. It is a very different story there than it is here, whereas you can dig down 20 feet and you're still in expansive clays. And so that's that balance between the two. For those who weren't here, Tiger Stadium, we dug down 3 feet. We chemically injected for the next 10 feet, and we put back select fill for that 3 feet. So it was quite an extensive process to get what we call PVR, potential vertical rise, of how much the soil is going to move up and down. We want it to only be 1 inch, and it was, I think, 8 to 10 inches is what it was as it stood today. So
And
we
again,
did.
as a reminder, that was for the track, really more than it was even for the field, because the track was separating the curbs and it was all kind of, I mean, it was a field issue, but the track was the big problem.
You don't notice it as much in the field. However, the wavy lines and those kind of things, that's what you see in the field. So
The track was the big issue.
the killer, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Track was the original
Right,
track
right,
from when the stadium was
Way back.
built, too.
So can I ask this question? I mean, and I know we're trying as hard as we can to keep the two schools and their facilities equal. That being said, I mean, because when I saw this number, it is a big number, and it makes sense because we know what we're going to have to do with the land underneath there. I mean, we just know it's going to be the same as the football field, which you're going to get into. But I know that in the long run, just because I'm around it so much, you'd almost, if you at least look at the option of putting in artificial at the new fields, because it's the spring season is the rainiest season we have. We have rainouts, they can't practice, they're scrambling for places to play games. And if we had one field that then the athletic department could make the decision on how to balance games out and do that. Because at some point, all the high schools are going to artificial if they can. Now, if they can't, they can't. But I know the new one's going in because we don't have the maintenance staff to
Right.
keep up with a grass field. I mean, we just don't. I mean, I know that UT is considering putting one back in. They have a maintenance staff and a budget to do that. You know, A&M has a staff. They're not willing to come over here and do ours for free.
But in 10 years, aren't you gonna have to resurface it? And is there really that much savings in 10 years? I mean, do we really water it and mow it? I mean, where's the balance point on that
Yeah,
cost?
there's a whole debate
Yeah,
about
we'd have to
that.
see.
The bottom line
It's
is
gonna
you,
have to be resurfaced
Right.
periodically.
Yeah, everybody
will.
every
And
10
it's
years.
hotter in Hades, those kids.
Oh, I
When
know.
they go play on those things or practice on them, it sucks the life out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's slower, so we practice every day on a slow grounding field, and then we go play at a grass field, and it's really not a competitive advantage for our kids.
Except that we don't play on grass fields much anymore.
You know, everybody around here, in
Yeah,
our
well,
district.
Yeah, but once we get out of a district, we're all back into turf. And everybody's going back with turf just because it's more affordable for a time period it is. And I'm not saying we do it, but I'm saying I think it's something that
you could price it.
we could price it and see, does it make sense to have one artificial, one grass, and both schools could benefit. It's not like the football field. I mean, we know what we're doing with the
Price it and
football
see.
field.
Yeah, and that's really what my question was, in terms of could we have Belton fields available and shared back and forth? And maybe that's important to us. Mike, are we setting you up a problem, or are we helping solve some problems? Okay. Okay. Fair enough. So at this point, getting pricing would be helpful to us, just to know. I mean, it'd be good to know what we're talking about.
Now, the one thing that I would say as we're going through this is there was an event that happened on March 8th, which Trump signed into not legislation, but signed tariffs
Right.
And so we have started hearing impacts from multiple contractors around the Central Texas area. So not just Barlacock, who's at CM at risk, but we've heard from others for Lake Belton High School, they're talking a potential $1 to $2 million premium.
So I was gonna bring that up here shortly, but
Yeah.
my concern is we're talking about capital expenditures right at this minute when we haven't seen bids come back from the high school.
Sure, and we
We're
don't,
not committing to anything
We are
tonight.
not
That is
committing.
not our goal tonight, so.
Yep, so.
We may be in a world of hurt when it comes, when those bids come back.
So right now, what we've been targeting is that there were some alternates that we had said, no, we don't want to look at those as far as deductive alternates. We're going to get those back on the list now at this point to help control scope, just in terms of if it does come in high, how do we get out of it to make sure that we get a firm number on bid day and it's a competitive number. But then as well as if this is something the district is interested in, we can always go back and add it. So very similar to like we did on the other three projects, there is a total project budget and there is some contingency, so we have some flexibility. We can't go out and buy the world, but that there is some options in there.
The steel prices could eat that contingency really quickly.
It could.
we won't know until the end of April, so we're not asking you to commit on anything tonight, but maybe tell us what your priorities are on these projects.
So it behooves us to have good information, and that's I guess what we're asking for.
Yep.
Good information for future decision-making.
Can do.
Great.
Okay. So that's 6 and 7.
But I appreciate y'all bringing up, things that happen in Washington affect us here in Belton.
That's correct. And
Don't be naive.
we'll find out.
Survived a whole bunch of hurricanes, but we can't survive Washington.
So I do question whether or not it is.
That's an excellent point.
And Austin.
I do have a question whether or not it's real and is this opportunity, just like it was with Harvey.
Yeah.
So we will find out in 6 months whether or
Is
not.
it real?
Yeah. Is it real?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Has a look and feel of it right now. So right now, project number 8A, B, and C all deal with tennis courts. And so the discussion with the Belton High School team is that it's currently challenged that the entire community of Belton practices at Belton High School. And so that's 3 middle schools and a high school that's 3,300 students. And so there was a discussion about how do we be able to support that. So option A adds it basically where the red block is, which is just north, in between the tennis courts and between the field house, is adding in 4 courts in that location. So it'd take it from 8 to 12. To remind you, UIL minimum is 8 to be able to hold a tournament. So the 12 would increase that flexibility for practices and those kind of things.
Hey, so I need some remedy on this, because I thought we were talking about 8 to 10. Moving from 8 to 10 is what we needed to be able to accommodate. Am I remembering that wrong?
So 8's minimum for
8 is
UIL
what
tournament.
we have today at
correct.
Belton High School, and we put 8 into the bid for Lake Belton High School with a 2 alternate.
Actually, we have up to 4 alternates.
2 or 4?
Correct.
But
So
I
we
guess
could go up to 12.
Maybe I'm forgetting, so I thought we had said what we needed was 10 at each place to be able to do full tournaments and all middle schools practice. Wasn't that, is that? not right?
That was the ideal scenario, talking with the staff, is 8 basically for high school and then the 2 for middle school
I
at.
need 10 to
Yes.
run a full tournament.
It's 8 by UIL. Now, whether or not 10 would help during the tournament, I'd defer to coach on the logistics of 8 versus 10 during tournament time.
Well, it takes you into a different class of tournament. You can have bigger tournaments, therefore bringing in more money, more, opportunities to make money.
More kids playing at the
More
same
kids
time.
playing.
Right.
It's just better.
Time-wise, you can get finished with tournaments.
Yes.
and Timing-wise,
Well,
obviously.
we also gotta
when-
remember, we have 8 now, we're fixing to have 16.
Right. Which, now
that's
some
correct.
history on this one is, we've been all around this one. At one time, we said, well, we really need them at the middle school more than we need them at the high school, more at the high school. But then when we went to building a new high school, we said, well, we really don't need them at the middle school then if we have 2 high schools. So we pulled off of that. Mike, feel free to wave at me if I'm saying this wrong. But, so we said, look, that's a great example of middle school tennis courts was higher on our list until the second high school came along, and then it basically went off the list. That we can accommodate at the high school if we have enough courts. Is that
We also have the
correct? Am I
new
forgetting?
Crossroads Park coming in, just to the east of North Belton Middle School. Actually drove by there this morning and I spoke with Kevin Beavers, the Director of Parks over in the city of Temple, and they're building 6 tennis courts at the Crossroads Park, and they have a community group that's hoping to increase that number, maybe with some additional facilities to support it. So there's some other options there about, for partnering for middle school
And so,
specifically,
well, we're going from 8 to 16 plus 6.
plus 6.
So, yeah,
Or
really
more.
big increase
Well, we've got
in our area, but
basically 150 kids from middle school all the way through high school in tennis. So to do them at the junior highs, you've got 21 at one middle school, 29 at the other. That's a lot of money.
that's a
for
lot
that.
of money.
That's
So
correct.
putting it at the high school, that means you get to do the tournaments and things like
Exactly.
that. So it's
Exactly.
better to spend the money at the high school.
Absolutely.
Put your
And that's where that
resources
thinking
together.
shifted. The question I guess I'm getting back to is, do we need 2 more, or do we need 3 more, or do we need 4 more? Because I'm a little bit confused, because this shows 2, 3, or
Well-
3 and 4.
So, yeah,
Not
so,
two.
so A is 4, B is 3, so basically the third one would be like a competition court, but then it adds in the amenities building, so that would be like a concession, restroom, those kind of things. So during tournament day, you'd have it somewhere, and then C is the middle school, that was low
But
priority.
why 3? I guess I'm confused about 3. I thought it was 2 in I
The-
thought what we had always talked about before was 2 additional courts plus the amenities building.
So
Is that not right?
we can fit 3 in the amenities building. I think it was in essence, there's a square there and we'll maximize that opportunity. So 4 fits there, it duplicates what's there, and then you could fit 3 with one of those being kind of a grand court, having grandstands, small amount of them, watching the court, and then the amenities building. So yes, you could do 2.
Do we need 11?
11's better than 10. I mean, it's one of those, it gives you another court to play on. I mean,
For
that's the
practice.
strategy for, yeah.
I think the 12 is the better of the 3 options here. More courts, more practice, better for the kids, more kids involved. You know, the grandstand court and that kind of stuff. I don't know if that's necessary.
I think
But
that's
the
important
amenities
to
building
the
is important.
parents.
Would be nice.
I think it's important to
For
the
the 3
parents who
courts
go,
plus amenities,
I do.
take care of our stakeholders. Exactly.
Right now, I think that's one of the challenges as you go to these courts. There's not somewhere for the parents, there's not somewhere for the players. It's basically court.
Restrooms are pretty, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
One piece over to the field house, right.
And we don't have to decide today that we'll be talking about tennis courts in the Lake Belton High School bid
Correct.
as well at the end of
But
April.
that's what we've talked about, is keeping some equity in these. What we do at Lake Belton, we do at Belton High School, and so we keep those balanced, so. Okay, so that sounds like one we need to continue to look at.
Like when we're practicing at Marihorn Baylor, which I know we've got a group, I guess South Belton practices over there maybe?
Ooh, I don't remember. We have an
Somebody.
agreement with the university
Somebody
for
does.
that.
Yeah.
Mike, I'm looking at Mike.
Like Belton does. So
2 schools.
does that open us up to any more type of liabilities when we're off campus practicing versus if it was on a Belton ISD? Does that-
Doesn't open the school district up to, no,
It doesn't, so it doesn't
Oh,
matter.
transporting them, but we'd
Just-
still be
We're still
transporting
busing
them.
them,
we're
to
still
high school.
busing.
so that doesn't matter. Just saving that $2,400.
Yeah.
Take a long time to pay for that.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Okay,
Okay.
better keep us moving.
Yep, project number 9. So this is addressing performing and fine arts and athletic needs at Belton High School. And so this is kind of it, as the project moves forward, as we look at the 9 moving away, how do we facilitate the students? And specifically, one of the biggest needs is orchestra. And that kind of becomes this puzzle piece that locks us into kind of what do we do? You know, that's the first move, and then what do we do with the other ones as we move forward? And so what we were able to do is sit down and look at what Belton High School has now, compare that to what is planned for Lake Belton High School, and then start generating some programs and some ideas from there. So you'll see that we talk a little bit about the population and how we're serving it. And in the center of the page, there are three what I'll call buckets right here for a program of information. Basically, if we were going to go out and build this new, what kind of space that would we need? And so the athletics area, we would go out and as we're building equity to Lake Belton High School, we'd build a locker room with, in essence, a private shower restroom facility for that suite. So baseball would have its own suite, powerlifting would have its own suite, soccer would have its own suite going through there. It's a little bit different than a shared scenario from that standpoint. But in the end, you get to just about 19,000 square feet of need from a program need. If we were going to go build a new building, that's what we would look at doing. Very similar thing for orchestra, that this matches up with the rehearsal hall, the ensemble rooms, all those kind of things to support it. And then as well as I've identified dance, because they kind of get locked into that as well as we talk about options. They have a current space, but then is there an option to move them? And that's the kind of space that, again, would marry up with Lake Belton High School and what dance currently has going through there. And so what we did, and this is part of, as we were looking at the design, I included some pictures here. These pictures are, the first three are of the old field house. So that would be adjacent to the swim center, kind of in the L configuration. And then as well as the far right picture is the dance hall. And one of the keys is we talk about orchestra and dance in particular. Orchestra, it's important about the volume of the space is generally you want a taller volume, so this space would not be conducive to orchestra for the acoustic needs. And as well as for dance, we could look at a space like this without a ceiling because you could do lifts for the girls, but often we're finding that those same spaces are used for color guard, cheer, and so then you can't throw girls, which we often see that they're using basically like a gymnasium type space in those. So those are some of the considerations as we went through. We looked at all different options on Belton High School campus. We have 3 here for you tonight to run through, and additionally looked at some of the existing facilities on the administration campus.
Jared, I'm gonna ask if it's okay. We may need to pause here because this is gonna take more than a couple minutes, and we've got a big crowd gathering in the
Yep.
hallway, and we need to, what I may wanna do is hold and split and come back after we recognize kids, if that's okay with you.
Whatever you need,
Is this a good break point? You're about to
Sure.
get into that?
unless you want to get to the end.
No, well, I just don't think we can get there.
No, I know.
And get to what we need to do.
Yep.
Because we need to take a short, brief, closed session, and we need to get all these kiddos and their families in the room.
Yep.
And we've told them 6, and so I'd really like to honor that. So if you're willing to
Absolutely.
hold on us, y'all okay with that? Okay, so at this time, it's 5:48. Board will go into closed session to discuss personnel and real property. We will be back, and we'll be looking to recognize our students here in close after as 6 o'clock as possible. It is 6:05 and we will reconvene, or it's 6:06, and we will reconvene in open session. Thank you all for waiting for us. We wanted to make sure we had an opportunity to get everybody in. We still have a hallway full of folks. One of the great things that we get to do on a regular basis is recognize our students and our staff for excellence. And tonight is a great example of an opportunity to recognize excellence. We have students excelling in so many areas, in so many ways across our district. And tonight, we're going to recognize a number of those students in a very diverse variety of ways. It was significant to me that even this weekend, we had even more big recognitions that will be coming to us next month. But I wanted to at least start with a thank you to Elizabeth and your crew and Dr. Kincannon for the Public School Week luncheon. We had an opportunity to recognize students across our district and across very diverse, widespread aspects of what we do in Belton: academics, athletics, fine arts, CTE. Virtually anything you could imagine, we had students excelling at a very high level, and we were able to recognize them and show the opportunities that we have in this school district are extraordinary. That was a very well-received luncheon. Thank you and it took a lot of work, a lot of logistics to make that happen, but it was a tremendous opportunity to celebrate our students and all the great things that are happening. And so I wanted to just say a special thank you on behalf of that. So now we're going to continue that because we have students to recognize in a diverse aspect. And I think what you'll see tonight, if you're able to stay around for others, you're going to see your students and recognized, but some in a completely different area excelling again at a very high level. So some ground rules: parents, if you haven't been here before, we're going to formally recognize, we'll call groups up and we're going to recognize them. We have a certificate that we'll present. We will take pictures for our website and our social media, but we want to encourage you to come up and take pictures. This is family, and it's a great opportunity, and believe me, your students want you to take their picture, even if they claim they don't, they do. And so we'll take enough time to pose those pictures up and take those pictures. So, Elizabeth, get us going. Let's start off with our National Merit Scholar finalist. We get Serena back.
Absolutely. This is a face that's familiar to the boardroom. Belton High School senior Serena Shador was announced as a National Merit Scholar finalist late last month. Of the more than 3.4 million high school seniors nationwide, only 15,000 received this recognition based on PSAT scores and further demonstration of consistently very high academic performance. After graduation this May, Serena plans to attend Rice University and study classical civilizations.
So as you may know, there's one kind of like this that's hanging up in Belton High School, except it says semifinalist, so that's coming down. This one's going up and it's bigger and even better. Okay, go ahead.
It's just to say, it greets you as you walk in, and Serena plans to attend Rice University and study classical civilizations next fall. Congratulations, Serena. And Mrs. Shador is here as well. Congratulations.
This demonstrates an extraordinary level of academic achievement and a really high level of excellence accomplished by very few students. Congratulations, we're really proud of you. Great accomplishment. Thrilled to have your banner up. It's been fun to have that banner up, the semifinals banner, but it'll be even more fun to replace it with that one. So congratulations.
We've had fun celebrating Serena, and we look forward to her coming back and talking to our kids.
There you
In
go.
the future.
Okay, let's do some more.
Congratulations. Yeah, and before we get into the next groups, I wanted to disclaimer that it is a busy Monday in spring, so a lot of our students are at tennis, are at, track, and then I think baseball also might have taken softball, a few away from us. So I'm just going to read the recognitions, and I hope that most of them are back there. Students, as you hear your name, please come forward. Next up is Business Professionals of America National Qualifiers. BPA students competed at the State Leadership Conference earlier this month in Corpus Christi, with 3 Belton High School students qualifying to advance to the National Leadership Conference in both individual and team events. Senior Caden Utleaf placed 4th in Advanced Accounting, and Wesley Starnes, a junior, placed 3rd in Fundamental Accounting to earn individual qualifications for nationals. The team of senior Wyatt Weir, Wesley Starnes, and Caden Utley placed 2nd in the State Financial Analyst team competition and will be advancing. The National Leadership Conference will be held in May in Dallas. Advisors for the BPA are Amanda Simpson, Brittany Truitt, Nikki Rudolph, and Mark Durfee. Thank you. Congratulations.
These guys are amazing. Great job.
I want to note that our accounting team took first place at the UIL academic meet this past Saturday, and that was the district meet, wasn't it? Yeah, that was the district meet. So congratulations, guys.
But don't miss, this is national.
Yeah.
This is going to nationals. This is a really big deal. So congratulations. Go bring back a
Our
national championship.
future accountants. Yeah.
There you go. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Nina. Congratulations.
Speaking of amazing, let's talk about a state champion
state
UIL
champions.
film.
I was going to say, there are officially state champions in the room, y'all.
Yeah,
The
there you
film
go.
Call Me Back by Belton New Tech High School at Wasco. Students were awarded the top prize of the 213 entries in the Division II narrative category in the state's annual UIL State Young Filmmakers Festival at the Paramount Theater in Austin on February 28th. This state championship film team included students Brandon Garcia, Nathan Yell, Morgan Jones, Casey Roberts, Evan Sellis, and Marcelo Torre. Digital media and audio video instructor Christy Shepard is the sponsor of this team. Congratulations, y'all.
This is a big deal. All right, guys. Boy, this is a big deal.
Very big deal.
Don't miss. They beat some of those perennial big wealthy schools all over the state.
All over the Dallas area.
Keep smiling. Oh, keep smiling. Keep smiling. We've got time. Good job, guys. We're proud of you.
Congratulations.
All. How about that? By the way, I just want to mention, if you haven't seen this video, you should. This film is extraordinary, and it'll get you. It's emotional, it's moving, and it's no wonder it won. Congratulations. It's on our website. There's links on there, and we'll make sure it's still on there.
And stay tuned, Ms. Shepherd is working on a screening locally, so
Great,
that is in the
awesome.
works. We will get
It's
something.
April the 11th,
Yep.
and there'll be media up, so.
Okay,
we'll
good
get it out.
deal. Awesome. Congratulations. State championship is a really, really big deal. We're so proud of you.
Congratulations.
All right, let's recognize our History Fair state qualifiers.
And if you're organizing yourselves in the back, we're going to go North Belton Middle School, South Belton Middle School, and then New Tech High School, okay? The 2018 Heart of Texas Regional History Fair was held in late February at Baylor University. Students who placed first or second in their respective categories qualified to participate in the Texas History Day in late April. North Belton Middle School had 2 students advance with first place finish for their documentary. Shannon Cook and Dayana Lamika's project was titled Night Witches, A Deadly Compromise. Congratulations, ladies.
You did. You did, Judge.
Oh, wait, take a picture, take a
Yep,
picture.
this is North Belton. Yep, this is
Photo
one.
op, photo op.
Additionally, the coordinator from North Belton Middle School, Miss Elizabeth Housen, was awarded the Calvin B. Smith Award as the most outstanding teacher of the year. Congratulations, Miss Housen.
Wait. That's a big deal. Congratulations.
Okay.
Where is she?
You're supposed to come up here and get you were supposed to. Okay, it's a big deal for the students, but it's a big deal when you get recognized too, so we want to recognize you.
Lady said something.
Great, good stuff.
Congratulations.
Okay, how about South Belton?
From South Belton Middle School, we have 2 groups and 1 individual qualified for state. I know one of these groups isn't here for tennis, so we'll go first with Krathika Rajesh, Maheshwari Rajesh, placed first in the group exhibit with the Cuban Missile Crisis. Congratulations, ladies.
Good job, guys. Come on up. Come on up. Y'all come on up here. We'll get the rest of your classmates up here.
Yeah, okay. And then McKenna Morrow and Serena Yoslato group website Title IX Leveling the Playing Field in College Athletics was awarded a second place finish. That's okay. That's what.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, we can clap for
Thank
them.
you.
Please come, yeah.
Thank you. Cole Peterson's individual research paper titled The Inca Civil War and the Spanish Conquest, the Conflicts That Crippled the Inca Empire, won first place. Congratulations,
By the way,
Cole.
Cole. Good job, Cole.
And from South Belton Middle School, Danielle Connor, Robin Burney, and Brandy Frazier are their coordinators.
Come on,
Congratulations.
y'all
And
come
thank
on up
y'all.
and get in the
Yep.
picture. You worked hard to get in this. Y'all get around your students. It's a good photo op. Y'all got to get together. All right, let's keep going.
Congratulations.
Good job.
Next, from Belton New Tech High School at Wasco, students Logan Flory, Edgar Paz, Akeem Ortiz, Rian Oja, and Jaden Cortez took second place in the group documentary category with their project Fat Man, Little Boy, and Japan, The Aftermath.
There you go.
Congratulations.
Who you're representing?
I think we have a,
We're going to need some teachers up here,
yeah,
sponsors. Stay up here.
okay.
You- We're going to get some more.
Okay, next up,
Wait. Don't leave.
okay, next up, Lexi Kerr, Emma Leolson, Thea Lancaster, Sylvia Asuncion Crab, and Natalia Garza placed second in group exhibit with their project called Saipan, The Untold Story of World War II. Congratulations.
They're so pretty. So much fun.
Okay,
Keep
we're gonna
going.
keep going. Jayla Ward, Gracie Krieg, Milo Furch, Jeremy Mutugi, Emma Kate Howard earned a second place finish in the group performance for Viva Mexico. Congratulations.
We're gonna have some more in the future.
Mr. Pryor, do you want to group them together?
All right, keep it going. This is fun.
Next up is the group website called Hysteria in Haymarket Square, created by Diego Sierra, Ashley Santillana, and Austin Williams that placed second in their category. Congratulations.
Hey, guys, y'all take a step backwards and come back up onto the podium. Come back up on the
Stand
podium.
in front of you.
There you go. Y'all step up, and then that next group can get in front of you. It's gonna be great.
Next up,
Block us. We're less than.
earning first in the same category was Raina Gonzalez and Heather Westberg for their website titled Marcion versus the Church, the creations of Thank you, Marcionism.
That was awesome.
Next group,
Marcionism. Say it again. Marcionism. Marcionism.
okay. Next up, Addie Ross, Nick Muller, Bamiga Unobi, Ethan Rodarte, and Evan Burns achieved a first-place finish in group documentary for their projects The Conflicts of the Disabled and The Compromise of America. Congratulations.
Oh, this is fun.
Next group, Logan Riggins, Bella Rose Mortel, Sarah Batson, Delaney McCallahan, and Maya Borchert also took the top honors with their group exhibit, Molding America's Youth, The Fight for Free Choice in Education. I knew I was going to get something, yeah. We have two final individual awards. Caroline Mullenbrock achieved a first place finish for her individual exhibit titled Sullivan. Congratulations, Caroline. And Jackson Small's individual performance, The Prohibition, was awarded a second place finish. Is Jackson here with us? And as you look at this large group up here, you can understand why Belton New Tech High School at Wasco also achieved the Sweepstakes Award at the competition for being the school with the most students qualifying for state. In addition to each of the students who qualified for state, recognition goes to their coordinators at the campus, Timothy Potts, Shannon Gish, Matthew Mastrilli, and Veronica Smith.
Get in
Yeah.
there. You represent it. And that's some awesome stuff.
Congratulations.
What a way to represent, guys. We are so proud of the way you represented our community and our school district, dominating those awards. They'll see you coming now next time. How's this for excelling at all kinds of different levels? We're not even done.
Congratulations.
All right, guys, congratulations. Well done. All right, well, how about let's shift a little bit and talk about some fine arts,
Fine arts.
state, solo, and ensemble state qualifiers for a choir.
Yes.
Now, I believe that we may have to reset a little bit because they may be out in the hallway.
They're aware, but we'll let these groups.
We need when you have this many students excelling at this high of a level, you need a bigger room. Isn't that a great problem to have?
That auditorium ready there.
There you go. Let's move to the auditorium for recognizing students. I love that. Bring those awesome choir students
fine.
in. Bring them all up. Come on.
Yeah, we're gonna let them all come up and
We're
then
glad
we'll.
you're here. Come join us. Have we got a deal for you? What are you going to sing for us today is what I want to know. What's your plan?
Welcome, welcome. Yeah. Okay, so the group that stands before you is our choir, UIL solo, and ensemble state qualifiers.
Step up, or anybody, because there you go. Good job, Katie. There you go. Step up.
Slide down.
All right, hang on a second, Elizabeth. Let's let Mike get them organized here, and then you can talk about them, and we'll take pictures of them. And Then we'll let them sing. No.
Okay. Tanya, feel free to.
All right, come on. You know, I can get them to sing. We go to Freddie's and they'll sing for me. I bet they'd sing here, right? Come on. My favorite choir.
Look at him. This one looked at you like, who is that guy?
The other ones, no. They're okay with it. I don't know.
Okay.
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 We getting there?
I think we're getting pretty
We
close.
can't see a thing, so.
Yeah. We're
That's
getting,
all right. No, you're good. Block us. That's much more important.
okay.
Able to see you.
Yep. Almost there.
Just to set the stage, these are state qualifiers. This isn't just a local contest. These are state qualifiers.
They are.
Y'all get up there with them.
Yep. Again, these are choir, UIL, solo, and ensemble state qualifiers. Students, as your name gets called, just raise your hand so we can make sure to recognize you individually. 31 members of the BHS choir, 17 soloists, and 4 ensemble groups achieved a rating of 1 or superior on the hardest level performance, Class 1, at regional competition to advance to the Texas State Solo and Ensemble Competition to be held in Austin on May 26th. Within the group of students, 31 from both BHS and Belton New Tech High School at Wasco, there are 8 vocalists that will be competing both as soloists and as part of an ensemble, and 1 student who's in 2 ensembles. So right now, we're just going to recognize y'all in alphabetical order. Annabelle Avila. Not here?
Wave.
Yeah, wave if you're here. Ashley Barnes. Yay. Sarah Broussard. Kaylee Buck.
Hey.
Jenna Colvin. Kaylin Connor. Brittany Curtis. Florentino De La Rosa. Ian Farrell. Kara Fish. Andrew Holcomb. Kobe Holloway. Jehovah Jercio. Caitlin Kemp. Madison Kessler. Gracie Krieg. Nathan LeBlanc. Julia Lee. Adazia Marsden. Karis McMurray. Josh Moreno. Ryan Peterson. Quinn Pierce. Austin Sandifer, Rachel Schiller, Rachel Shedd, Rachel Thomas, Caitlin Trainer, Matthew Watkins, and I recognize Rachel Wolob right there in front.
There you go, Rachel. All right, how about that?
The Belton High School Choir is directed by Tanya Lavorne and Travis Campbell with us here.
Great job, guys.
Congratulations.
All right, go win some bling.
No, thank you guys. Congratulations. Thank
I
you for being
believe
here.
that will happen. How about that? That's an extraordinary group, and they weren't all here. You notice there's a big stack who weren't even here. That's a lot of students excelling at a
Thank
very
you for
high
coming.
level.
Congratulations.
Really remarkable. We're really proud of them, and
for
our
coming. Congratulations.
fine arts choir program is excelling,
Yeah, we are.
giving our students opportunities to excel. Well, let's do some others in a different category. The Region
Agreed.
12 Citizen Bee winners advancing.
The Texas Citizen Bee is a statewide civic education program and competition. Students compete by completing written exams as well as orally responding to questions based on current events, the Constitution, Supreme Court cases, and historical documents. Students are then ranked based on their combined scores in both sections. At the regional competition just held last week in Waco, Belton High School senior Serena Shador finished first and will be representing Region 12 as the only student in the state competition on April 28th in Austin.
How about that?
Congratulations, Serena. And if you'll just stay up there, Serena, because in addition, Belton New Tech High School at Wasco freshman Kylan Menapace placed second, and Belton High School junior Elizabeth Nix achieved a third place ranking. Just to repeat, at the regional competition, Belton ISD took first, second, and third.
First, second, say that again. Wait, I think we need to repeat that one. It's a little more quiet. Everybody can hear this one.
Well, there's still some more students to call up,
Oh,
so.
keep going. Okay.
Okay. 2 additional freshmen from Belton New Tech High School at Wasco were the only other 9th grade students competing at the regional level. Ibarra and Sage Mooney's placed 6th and 24th respectively. Ibarra, congratulations. Tanya Larson and Veronica Smith coordinated students participating in this competition, and what I mentioned earlier is just in those first that we recognized, it's noteworthy to say that Belton ISD students at the regional level placed 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Awesome. Great job, guys, representing us at a very high level. We're really proud of you. Serena, go win a state championship. That'd be a good one to add, you know, why not? Because you can. Okay, we also have the opportunity to recognize extraordinary staff, and we're thankful for the Temple Rotary Club honoring an Educator of the Month.
Yes, this evening we have Rose Morales. She's being recognized by the Temple Rotary Club for her service to Belton ISD, and Rose is here with her principal, Ms. Weiss. Rose is a first grade teacher at Leon, and she's in her 15th year in education, all with Belton ISD. Rose continuously demonstrates a heart of service. She's a grade level leader. She serves as a UIL coach and frequently tutors students in the spring. She has also coordinated a campus-wide Read Across America Day for several years. And when she's off in the summers, she's spending her time, her talents teaching, utilizing those as an educator as she serves in Vacation Bible School. Tiffany Weiss, principal at Leon Heights Elementary, stated, Rose's reach extends throughout the entire building, and she continues to support all students at Leon Heights. She is truly the magical teacher that always has a group of students by her side making an impact. Congratulations.
What a great opportunity. And again, we're thankful for the Temple Rotary Club sponsoring that. Okay, we have one more. Each month we like to recognize one of our community partners, the Big Red Community Partner Award.
This is a big one. Central Texas 4C Incorporated, a nonprofit agency with more than 40 years of service, is committed to building stronger Central Texas communities, one child and family at a time. A mission that closely aligns with Belton ISD. 4C, as the organization is often referred to, stands for Community Choices in Children's Care, and as Belton ISD has increasingly become a district of choice for many, the partnership between the district and 4C has grown. Belton ISD has worked with 4C to provide Head Start programs to the youngest students or learners in Belton ISD for many years, providing comprehensive early childhood education, health, nutrition, and parent involvement services that not only meet but often exceed the federal and state standards. In recognition of this month's important ongoing partnership, 4C is the Big Red Community Partner for March. Representing the organization is Board President Grace Ann Wilhelm and Executive Director Janelle Frazier. Thank you, ladies.
We are fortunate in our community to have partners educating our youngest and students who need that extra help so that they can excel and be some of these that we recognize later. You're an important part of our community and making a difference for those kiddos.
Thank you, and we love doing it because we know they're going to come to a good school.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate that, and the partnership has been blessing to us for several years. Y'all got our Community Champion Award a couple of years ago, and last year, your maintenance department got it because of the help in moving us from that building over to the Belton Early Childhood School, where we were welcomed, and we appreciate it very much, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janelle. Congratulations.
All right, I'll thank Elizabeth. She had a lot of names and a lot of work to coordinate that. That was well done. I mentioned earlier our luncheon, and I want to add a few more. One, I want to congratulate and thank Sue Jordan. Got nominated and agreed to serve on the Legislative Advisory Council for TASB. Legislative again this year, and so she will be representing us. Thank you, Sue, for your willingness to do that. For many of you know, but today was the golf tournament for the Belton Education Enrichment Foundation. On Saturday was the tennis tournament. What a wonderful event. Lots and lots of people worked really hard to make that happen, and it shows a lot about our community's involvement. Todd, you represented us well, right?
Yeah, we played, and it was a great event, always.
And Chris Fuller, who's with us, was out there. Our trustee-elect was there.
Last
So
place.
the last place, and proud of it. Good job.
Jeff played too, did you
Did you? No, I didn't play. I was just
You
out
just
there.
came out this morning?
Just having a good time. I had a great time at the tennis tournament and on Saturday. That was a extraordinary group of folks raising money for scholarships for our students and really a great time. Thank you all for your participation in that. And I already mentioned things are happening this weekend. Our Magic Bells won a national championship. Academic UIL, you mentioned, just did some extraordinary things. Our color guard won a great accomplishment and is advancing to state, I believe.
Winter Guard.
Winter Guard, I said that wrong. Winter Guard, it's color guard, but Winter Guard, that's right. And we had a theater tech student advancing to state for the first time ever. And so we've got some extraordinary things happening in just a lot of places. One other I want to mention, and I wanted to make sure and draw this attention to the board and make sure you've had a chance to see this. Our coaches in our Belton Tiger Athletics Department are doing some extraordinary things with our student athletes. Two things that I want to particularly point out. We see what happens on the field or on the court when they're playing their games and doing what they do, but they're doing things off the court that's extraordinary. They have established the what do you call it? The honor roll display. Brian, is that right? There is a board up in the field house, athletics field house, where every 9 weeks, those who achieve the AB honor roll are getting their name on this, and it's a recognition that they are student athletes and student first. And it's really, it's becoming a prestigious thing. I've heard kids talk about, hey, I'm on that board, and that's a big deal. And I just want to thank you for doing that. And recognizing the importance of the student athlete. The other thing that's happening, and I hope you're watching this on social media, they have the students, many of these student athletes are working in community service in extraordinary ways, and they're taking pictures. They were, this weekend, they're at retirement centers, and they're picking up trash, or they're going and working with older folks, and they're just doing community service. And they, as good coaches do, they got a little competition going amongst the kids, and that helps them. But they're having a good time. I've seen kids post and also talk about, hey, that was even fun, and they had a good time. And so, guys, Mike, please pass on, and Ryan, thank you for what you're doing for our kids, the example you're giving to them to step up and be part of our community. I think some great things are happening with that, so appreciate y'all. Okay, that's all. Did we miss anything? Connie, did we get them all, I hope? Okay, now we got to figure out where to pick up. I think we're going to pick up with Jared. So Jared, come on back and finish this out. I'm sorry, for those of you that are here for other stuff, we're going to go back and finish the conversation that we had on our capital projects.
Okay, we ready to jump into
Yes,
it? Okay,
go.
perfect. So we go back to project number 9, and so this was looking at performing in fine arts and athletics. We talked a little bit about the need as it transitions over, really to support orchestra, dance, and athletics. And so you'll see that we had created those 3 buckets, again, here in the center that you see here and here. And then you see then the pictures here of the existing facilities. The 3 on the left are of the existing field house. And the one on the right is the existing dance area to give you a sense of the character of those spaces as we move forward. So as we go into options, develop 3 options along the way. And again, I point out that orchestra is kind of that linchpin that once you kind of move that, then that kind of determines how we move forward. So option A starts with a new orchestra addition. You'll see that here in yellow that would go in front of Belton High School. And so that would be a new standalone addition, basically in front of the band halls, where we're proposing it roughly 4,000 square feet. So that's the line item A within that would be the new orchestra hall. And then to meet the 18,000 square feet of need for the locker rooms, we would come back and renovate the existing what's currently being used as soccer locker rooms here. That's about 12,000 square feet. And then right now, the corner of the field house building there, and that would be the balance of about 7,000 square feet going through there. The keys, as you look at those, is I use the term light renovation and heavy renovation. So we're proposing light renovation in the soccer locker rooms, and generally, as you look at it, they're in pretty good condition overall, from the floors, the walls, the building, the structure, from that standpoint, versus the heavy renovation is when you walk into those facilities, again, that we want, when we talk about wanting to do it right, we really talk about we need to bring the HVAC up to code to make sure that we get the exhaust out. That means lighting, it means the flooring materials, walls, restrooms, ADA access, all those kind of things when we touch any of the projects. So there's a pretty good sum of money then, just about $4 million in renovating those existing building, the existing field house to bring it up to code on that one. And so in this option A scenario, the dance remains as is. There's no change to dance in this one. So basically we'd do, in addition to the orchestra, do a heavy renovation to the band hall. When I mentioned earlier, we did look at other options of what makes sense as we move forward, and that really becomes option B of that. And so what you'll see here then is there's a long linear yellow cube here within Belton High School, and that would be converting the existing dance space to orchestra space. And so I'll just go back real quick to this picture here on the right, and what you'll notice is the volume that's in that space. That's the volume that we're looking for when we talk about orchestra, being able to look at it. We had, for example, looked in option B of the space here at the soccer locker rooms being orchestra out in this area, so we don't have to touch any of the Belton High School. It doesn't have the volume. It has about a 15-foot floor to plate height. So that wouldn't really be conducive to an orchestra environment. So it didn't meet the needs from that standpoint. But in this scenario, we are proposing dance. That's the other yellow block here in the soccer. Then we renovate the rest of the building to be able to support locker rooms. And then there's an increased square footage here in the existing field house that we'd renovate, doing the heavy renovation for lockers. So this actually shows that between option A and option B is that there's about a $500,000 premium going with option B, is reusing more of the existing facilities. And that's really due to the cost of doing that heavy renovation to the buildings from that standpoint. We had presented both option A and option B to the administration, talked about some opportunities and talked about, how can we make this work better? How can we reuse some of the existing facilities? Went back and talked to Coach Morgan, talked to administration, and developed option C. And so what option C is we're reusing the existing band hall and dance areas. Here we're proposing the orchestra addition. There is some option as we move forward and we get into a little more detail. We may be able to renovate some of the band hall area to be able to support orchestra. That's to be determined, just as we think, if you've been to the front of Belton High School, it's pretty tight from the building to the street. And then there's a roadway. We think we can realign that road about 10 to 15 feet, make everything still work from there, but we'd have to go through survey. We'd keep the parking. There's a grass island in there and a sidewalk. We'd look at scrunching that a little bit within that. That's how the addition would fit. I think it's 45 feet from the face of the building to the curb, and that would get us about our 4,000 square feet that we're looking for. But we could look at reutilizing some of that. And then we went and met with Coach, and basically the goal of reusing the existing soccer locker rooms is repurposing those. And again, that's a light renovation. Is right now there's 7 locker rooms on the girls' side and the boys' side in each compartment. So there's 14 locker rooms, but they're not quite right sized for some of the teams like baseball. And so then we would come in and basically take 2 or 3 locker rooms, demo the walls between the 2 of them, and fill that with the appropriate size lockers. When we talk like baseball, they have the baseball bags. So you're talking like a 2-foot by 2-foot locker versus a 12 by 12 locker for PE from that scenario. The one concession that we were making in this option is that we would not have individual showers and restrooms for each sport, but there would still remain the central facility for both boys and girls on this side. This would go through and basically meet all the sports, all the requirements from the locker room standpoint. We talked a lot about game day and how teams would get from Tiger Stadium to the facility. So we would add some partitions. So there would be 2 distinct routes, so we don't have the teams coming together or crossing paths on game day, to make sure that was didn't have any incidents at halftime was the major concern. But you'll see then in this one is doing the orchestra addition and really working with the existing facilities. Is this really focuses on maximizing the use of those facilities. So we end up right at about $2.5 million for this one, on that one, for this scenario. So this would address orchestra with new orchestra room. BHS 9 would go back to a middle school. Dance would remain as is, and then we'd address the sports needs that we have. In essence, then the balance of the existing field house, they've converted one of the rooms to a weight room, some to storage, some to bus storage, so they're starting to utilize those in different ways, but this would meet all the locker room sports needs from that perspective.
What are we gonna do, this one's pretty, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of moving parts, it's a lot of money. But something I can see being something that's gonna need to be done is another locker room when the stadium opens up for, the two high schools. The sharing and having guests come in, existing locker rooms with equipment stuff is kind of not the optimum thing. What's our scenario for that?
So what you'll notice if you go back to this list, there's one right here that says LBHS varsity. So this would be the district stadium, so it would be a dedicated space for a Broncos locker room. So I could see them, doing some super graphics on the inside, go Broncos, and being part of that team. So they have a home at the district stadium, and then as well as finding a location for the dedicated visitors is currently, there's some mischievous students that come from other districts, none here in Belton, and they do mischievous things to the locker rooms during halftime and pre and post game. So our goal is to try and get them a space that they can be their own, and it doesn't create issues for other athletes or having to vacate those lockers on Friday at 5 so that another team can come in and use it from there. So it's something that we're planning for and giving those spaces into the building from there. And that happens in all three options.
So that's accomplished regardless of the option, that's still accomplished.
That is correct.
In option C, Jared?
Yes, ma'am.
So one of the questions, I guess, is there any other available space that we could put this orchestra addition? I mean, obviously, we need space for orchestra, and that's a priority, and it's a growing program. But we're gonna have dedicated space at Lake Belton High School, so we're gonna see those numbers come down some. I mean, it's been steadily rising over the last few years, but about close to half of the students in orchestra, I believe, are at New Tech currently,
About
right? So they're-
26 students are in orchestra at
Okay.
New Tech and 34 at Belton High School.
So anyway, we're transporting them anyway. I'm just wondering if there's any other way we could look at other alternate sites, I hear you that that'll work, but that sure looks like it's making that crowded and congested potentially. That worries me, that plan.
So I think we have looked at other options in the building on this scenario, and it priced itself out of building a new band hall, those kind of scenarios that didn't make a lot of sense. When we looked at the existing facilities, in particular, the L shape of the field house has a pretty low floor-to-ceiling height. It is a pre-engineered metal building, so it's got a little bit of a V. But even that, as well as the soccer locker rooms, just don't have the volume that's desired for orchestra and or dance. So that was the challenge that we had within there.
We thought that was the best option at Belton High School. We did look at a number of options with Jared and came back to that was the best one there on that site.
And so then when we look at existing facilities here on this campus, we kind of look for the same things when we talk about volume and height, unoccupied facilities. So right now, it's about a 15-foot plate, so very similar, as well as the building is about 3,000 to 3,500 square feet, and we're looking for just over 4,000, so we need to find that balance between storage. Not saying it
But
can
they'll
be
be
accomplished.
next to the new renovated auditorium.
It would be.
That will give some performance space and potentially,
So
wonder if that's a viable alternative.
So-
Obviously, there's equipment storage and lots of dynamics with that, but we got to get creative. We have a lot of needs.
Well, it's also 700,000 versus 2 million.
Yeah.
I do want to just state for the record that I have a lot of concerns regarding that boys' athletic bathroom in that old field house, and I think something should have been done yesterday about it. And so I think no matter what we do, something has to be done about that.
We agree.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
The new orchestra addition was $2 million, 1.95.
And that'd basically be for the 4,000 square feet standalone facility. And that's where we would look as we get a little bit further of, can we reuse some of the existing facility, but then you're trading off renovation dollars for new dollars, and we'd determine whether or not that, is there a good trade-off there or not.
Well, that's a creative idea.
where do we have a chance in this segment that we're doing tonight to suggest a new, something that isn't mentioned?
Sure.
Is this a good
But
time?
let's, hang on, let's get closure on this one. Does anybody else have any other thoughts? I mean, it sounds like some options. Is there any other questions, comments? Oh, yeah, sure. Do you have some other ones you wanted to discuss?
We have more projects. If you want to comment on this one first, I'm flexible either way.
Well, because it kind of might be in the same
Okay,
space.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead,
Some
Ty.
of the, those older locker rooms that we were talking about at lunch today, the golf folks would like to have some type of a small indoor place where they can put nets and a place to practice when it's cold and it's wet. And they have remarkable simulators in golf, analyzing swing, filming things. We could do something like that, separate from a $7 million option or a $2 million option. That could be done in one of these spaces pretty quickly and take care of, an outstanding, golf program. They just don't have a place to go when the weather's bad to practice.
Yep. So definitely something we can add here to the list and conducive. I know that the district's already repurposed some of that existing building for a weight room. Do a very similar approach for golf.
That's a good idea. That's a good,
in that
Ty, I
space.
appreciate you bringing that up. That's exactly what we want to do. We want to add to the list. We've taken off things that don't need to be on the list, but that's a great
And
thing
that's
to add potentially.
Very inexpensive.
Potentially if we
Use of
have
that
the space.
space.
Sure. Okay,
Okay. Anything else? Good.
keep going.
Okay. So the next project is number 10, and this is really looking at the playground serving the existing 10 campuses at the elementary school. So quick history of it is we've gone through and looked at the existing playgrounds. In essence, there's 5 things that we're really looking at trying to bring into equity amongst each other. So the first is an accessible route. And so in essence, what that means is from the front door where you park in an accessible stall through the building, out the backside to the playground equipment, that you would have an accessible route. So for example, some of the challenges is that some playground equipment is sitting out in the field, and there's not a firm and stable surface to get to it. Other equipment we've seen have basically kind of the railroad ties around it, which would prevent a wheelchair from wheeling into the playground surface. So we'd be looking at correcting those items or providing options for those items for an accessible route. Number 2 is getting play equipment. Even as you look at the prototypes, the last 3 schools that were built, there's actually differences in each one of the play equipment in terms of quantities and swings and those kind of things. So making sure that each has an equity per grade level. Then we've got swings, which is kind of part of the play equipment. Again, some PTAs have opted to put in swings, some schools have none. It's kind of this variable along the way. And then as well as then getting covered playscapes is the idea of, it's August, it's hot, you can't slide down the slide because it'll burn you. And the last one then is fall protection material. Again, there's a very different types within there. And so on the very bottom of the image, you'll see on the bottom of the page, there's images of all the things that we're proposing. This is what is being proposed at Charter Oak Elementary School. So we have the 3 playscapes, the swings, the covered area, but then the bottom right image is the fall protection material. And it kind of looks like bark mulch, but it's not. It's actually a synthetic rubber material that's poured in place, and it's solid, but it provides the fall area. The district did opt to put that into Charter Oak Elementary School as the preferred fall material. We reviewed all this content with principals, we reviewed it with administration staff, so that there are several things that they would want along the way, as well as then how do we balance with PTA if they decide to raise some money, how do they fit in within there, and what does this look like at each one of the campuses. And so we created another lovely chart to be able to go through and kind of sectionalize this along the way. So you'll see that there are 3 parts, and you'll see that labeled here at the top, A, B, and C, A, B, and C here. So A is basically dealing with the play structure of being able to get from the building to the playscape with an accessible route and making sure that you have play equipment to be able to support the needs there, making sure that there's equity. So you'll see the numbers represent, in essence, the deficiencies. So if there's 1, it means there's already 2 on campus. Some of them are older, so we want to make sure that they have been replaced. Part B, the middle section here, is getting the covers on the playscape. making sure that they're covered from that perspective from the sun. And then part C is the fall protection material. And you'll note that B and C are a pretty hefty chunk of that dollar, of that amount. Just to give you reference, usually what we see in a lot of schools is engineered wood fiber, is what they call it. It's bark mulch. It's about $1 a square foot. When you go to the synthetic, it's usually $10 a square foot. So there's a pretty hefty price. It was pretty resounding from the principals of, yes, we would love to have covers, and yes, we would love to have fall protection material. So
We'd all like to have that.
So right now, what we went through and did is basically price this in today's dollars. So if you did all of these, it would come in at the $3.2 million. You'll see that we have options right below there to provide 3 swings at basically 1 at each playscape. So the idea is that you'd have, in essence, a pre-KK, a 1-2, and then a 3-4-5 playground, and then swings associated with those. Swings take up a lot of physical area, so that includes the price for the fall protection material within it, and then as well as adding soccer goals and backstops at each one of the campuses. So the overall vision is, roughly $4 million if you made them all equivalent all today. You can easily step through this and do one playscape at each campus. You can just do the playscapes. You can, kind of pick and choose
over years. I want to just commend you for adding this in. This is an issue that's really important. As the number of our students who have special needs increases, and we hear this from parents and certainly those on campuses, we need to be sensitive to that, need to be aware of that. And so it'd be nice to do everything. You can kind of see, how do we get there? I like how you broke that down, though. I really like the concept of let's make sure all of our children have access. That seems like a pretty high priority.
We've had multiple requests to improve the accessibility of our playgrounds. And then over the years, PTAs have purchased equipment for the playgrounds, and that's been a little piecemeal from campus to campus. And so
very much appreciated.
The idea was to standardize and then break it in chunks and do what we can as we can. And so the first option A makes every playground accessible, and then add some additional pieces to standardize. That was the thinking.
I sure like that. I actually like the soccer goal and backstop at each campus too. I think that provides a lot to our campuses all across the district. But I like that as a priority. I'm glad that you even asterisked that one. A lot of needs, but that one makes sense and touches a lot of kids throughout our community.
Well, it doesn't touch them just during the school day either.
That's a good point.
What I like about it, it's accessibility at other times that really there isn't currently. So.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Okay. And so then the last project, and I will cover this one very shortly for the board members who haven't. We could go for another hour just on this one report here, but this is the swim center. And basically in 2014, we were asked to go in and review the existing swim center and provide a feasibility study for improving it. In essence, we go through here and there's a lot of information. I'll click through real quick. This just talks about the history of the project and the history of the construction of the facility, ultimately leading into there was a structural deficiency found within the design of the existing facility. And so there have been safety precautions put in place that the district is adhering to make sure that it is providing a safe enclosure for our students while they're there. We get into then looking at some of the structural and mechanical recommendations as we go in through the design. How can we reuse the existing equipment? How can we reuse the existing foundation systems? And then getting into not only is there, if we're going through this level of repairing the facility, are there opportunities that we want to take to be able to improve it as well? So first goal was make it safe. Second goal was how do we increase it? And we go through options about the building program and going through all those details. They've been prioritized at the time here, and ultimately looking at that, getting into then replacing some of the existing systems, in essence, replacing the existing tension structure with a CMU load-bearing structure or glulam structure, depending upon the option. that you go through. And that's basically what these pages here relate to of, this is a pre-engineered metal building structure. This is a long span truss structure. This is a wood frame structure here, all basically doing the same thing, pulling off the existing top, replacing it. As we move to the next options, this augments the existing facility from providing more additional locker rooms that are needed between community use and student use, offices and storage, getting into a little bit more expanded from there, kind of an ideal scenario, and then going all the way into building a second facility adjacent to it, whether it's an outdoor facility, all the way into a 25-meter or 100-meter outdoor facility. The keys as you go through there is kind of this page in the end, is it talks about duration. A lot of what drove these options as we went through the discussion was it's basically going to take swim season out a year, is if you replace the existing structure. So a new pool, the idea was you'd build the pool, that'd be a place for them to swim, and then they could do the work adjacent to it, kind of in a nutshell. So lots of options.
It's a really good project and a report, and I'm glad that you brought that back to kind of current, that we still have that. That's one of those, it's going to be hard to get to, but it's good for us to keep that in the mix here.
And when I was reading through the report, obviously there's very complex, and the shutdown of the swimming program is a big deal, but
Right.
it services a lot of people. When you look at the things that we looked at
That's
today,
another one of those community things.
the numbers, because of community involvement, this is a big deal.
It's a
Yeah,
big program.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It is.
Well, well, that kind of hit the list. I guess I want to go back to one of the things Jared mentioned at the first. You and your team have already asterisked kind of the priorities, but I want to ask, in your priority list, what do you have, what are you doing? Well,
Going all the way back to the summary.
He's going back
Okay.
to the list.
back to the original. Sorry. Back to the original list. What are the priorities in your view?
Sure. Orchestra is a priority for me. That program will be displaced when we move students out of the ninth grade center.
We've got to find a home for
And
them.
we have to find a home for them. Playgrounds are important.
When you say
accessi-
playgrounds, you're talking about the first phase?
I'm talking about the option A, the accessibility is the biggest issue, although we'd like to do more. I think that
Sure.
would be
But priority-wise, option
a
A
good
is.
start for us. The locker rooms, we need to take care of those by the time we begin to play varsity sports, certainly varsity football at the new high school, which may not be the first year. And then we still have a desire to take care of this parking lot and this building. Parking lot being probably higher priority than renovating the internal inside of the building. So those are the biggies. And then, of course, the biggest one is swim center, and we will have to take care of that at some point, either in a bond election or with bond proceeds at the end. At some point, we need to
That's
address
a
that
big
swim
ticket
center.
item.
So those maybe not necessarily in that order, but those are the things that are important to me.
Okay, anybody have any thoughts in terms of rank? That makes sense. I hear you. It's hard to say this one's more important than the other. They're
Right.
all,
That's right.
but you've kind of identified the most urgent kinds of
Correct.
identified them as the most urgent needs. Obviously, the issue, and I think we've all kind of said, well, this probably isn't the time for us to actually do this, but to be thinking about it is really good, because here in a couple of months, we may be able to be in a position to do that, so.
And we could continue to explore orchestra options if you wanted us to do some more thinking about that. I think if it's at Belton High School, I think we've found the solution, but we'll continue to talk about it if that's your desire.
I like maybe someone over here, maybe the cheapest.
If it's viable, and that's the question of whether
Yeah.
is there viable space here that's doable,
We
and
haven't
it may not
studied,
be.
we haven't studied it.
But it may be
and-
worth looking at, and if it doesn't work, at least you can, that room, that building's not,
What'd you say?
the old gym.
No.
Is there any other item anybody wants to say we ought to put this, I think when we get the bid on the high school, we're gonna know a lot more and be able to perhaps come back and revisit this, and say, oh, this is what we wanna do there, or this, how, refer back to this
I think
conversation too.
the new high school is eliminated, or at least
helping a lot.
Helped this a lot.
It's helping a
Absolutely.
lot.
We're talking about,
Absolutely.
I mean, some of these things that we were really stretched a few years ago are now fixing to have a little
That's
space. And
right.
so, I think it helped relocate the list, a little bit, reorder the list. I think that orchestra and the locker room area really needs some attention.
And we'll be bringing you the alternates for tennis, and we can do an addendum and add an alternate for the turf if you want to see what that pricing
Yeah,
looks like.
I'd sure like to see it. I
And
mean,
then
again,
you can
we need
make
to
some
have that information.
decisions when we get closer to the GMP.
On the tennis, I want to go back and revisit that and say, I want to see the 2 additional court option, because that's the conversation we've had several, and I want to make sure that's in the mix.
So in essence, it'd be half of option A, and that's.
Is it? I don't know. Is that, okay, then that's easy, but if you, just make sure that's in the list.
Roughly $200,000 a court.
Okay, that's helpful to know.
Yes, we'll add it to the list.
And then I had one question on the playgrounds. You have the different options, A, B, and C, and all that. Put into option A was the accessibility on all of them. Can that be broken out into its own section? I mean, if we're not gonna redo equipment and all that, but could we just look at making sure that all the playgrounds that we currently do have
We could do that
have
first.
accessibility? I mean, that might be a very small.
The
ticket
1A
item.
and 1B, yeah.
I mean, just
Accessibility
break that by
and-
itself so that we know that we've got that.
Fair enough.
Just to see what it costs.
Good idea. I like
Good
that. I like that,
suggestion.
because I agree, that may be one of the most urgent things. We need to have accessible.
I think
I like that. Good
before-
option.
I think though too, like what Janet said about the bathroom at the baseball, I think there's a few little things though that we could break out and fix without having to go to
Right. We don't have to
some
go
of
through
these
this.
big blanket items. We could itemize some of this stuff and get it done.
We can do some of it internally.
There are some short-term, even, let's call it temporary, but they're short-term fixes until we can get to the bigger fix.
Yep.
Yeah. Good.
I think, and until we have the bids back, not just the bids back, but until we're substantially complete with this high school and nothing crazy's happened, the market hasn't changed, we're dealing with there's lots of variables between now and 5 years. Until some of these things happen, we need to be really careful what we spend, because, I mean, with that large of a project, one little thing can put a damper on our budget.
So these are the challenges of being a fast growth school district. You may have read that in the report that I'm going to review with you in a few minutes.
Nice segue.
But facilities, definitely one of our challenges, and appreciate Jared's work on this. He's
Yeah.
done a really great job of putting this, kind of
It's
packaging
really
this so
good,
you can
and
see
that's
it.
a good segue that we need to move on. Does anybody have
Yep.
any other questions for Jared? Jared, you did a great job. Thank you for letting us split your time and keep working on. We'll be back revisiting this, and we'll look forward to hearing how the bids come in.
Yes. Thank y'all
Wall
very
Street
much.
Auditorium, you want to give us the Wall Street Auditorium? Thank you. We didn't get the Wall Street Auditorium update. This one's a short one, isn't it?
It is a short one. So overall, construction has continued on the Wall Street Auditorium as we move forward. We have found a few fun things as we've gone through the process. So overall, as you go over to the site, the top two photographs are kind of the progress that we've been making. So in the bathrooms, for example, they've installed the epoxy floor, they've installed the tile on the walls, got all the fixtures, everything put back. They're doing the coring for the electrical and those kind of things within the existing auditorium. However, they did start on the roofing work within there and started replacing that. When we originally went out there, we found some portions of the deck. It's a gypsum deck is what it is. So there's a form and then gypsum on top. Found some where it had started failing, and so we had identified to replace that. However, that was on the auxiliary roofs. On the main roof, which are the other three photographs that you see there on the image, as they peeled back the layer, there was pre-existing damage underneath the roofing membrane where there were actual holes within the gypsum deck from there. So we worked very closely with Masonic Construction, with David on the district side, with our engineers and roofing consultant to really evaluate what are our options here. Ultimately have developed a proposal request to send to the contractor to say, what's it going to take to fix this? What they're going to end up doing is pulling off the old deck and putting down a new metal deck along the way. So we have gone through that process. We've reviewed it to make sure it's an equitable price, that it's a fair price to the district. Reviewed that with that entire team, and have them going back to review it. We're able to accomplish all this work within the contingencies that were available on the project. So the total cost of the work has not changed at this point.
That's really good news.
What is the roof surface gonna be on top of the metal deck?
Yes, so we'll go back with roof surface. In essence, this roof is a flat roof, so then it will be 4 inches of insulation and then the tapered insulation on top of that going back. No, it is a built-up roofing system to match what I'll call is the district standard that as you've gone back to Belton High School and replaced the roof, that's what's being used. So Holland Cannon, who you'll probably hear from later tonight, has also been helping us on this one as well. So.
Okay.
So real quick, the update as we go through there. So we're going through that entire roof deck replacement. They have submitted a proposal request, or we've submitted the proposal request. We're evaluating it. Right now, there were $209,000 within the budget. We've exhausted most of that going through this process. So we are going to come back and look at requesting additional money to have within the contingency. I think we have about $20,000 left, somewhere in there. Just to address any issues. We're kind of through most of the murky waters at this point.
As I recall, Leo advises that with this kind of a renovation on that old of a building, we should expect that, so we'll, yeah.
And their contractor has requested days as well, extension to the contract. Their intent is to complete on time, but we're gonna evaluate additional days. So that's what we're kind of going through. So we're making sure it's fair from our recommendation before we bring it to the board for approval, so.
So we'll bring that back next month
Yes,
with
ma'am.
change order request.
Yes, ma'am.
Good deal.
And that's the update.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again. So excited about that project. That's going to be great for our community, for our
Will be.
school district. Okay.
Thank you.
We're done. So now let's get back on to our agenda and see if we can move through some of these items. We have the public comments. I didn't see anybody signed up. Had anybody wanting to speak to the board on any issue? Hearing no takers, we'll move to the consent agenda. Any board members have any items they'd like to hold for discussion? Hearing none, let me identify those items. We have the minutes of the February 26th, 2018 regular meeting, the unaudited financial report for the month ending February 28th, 2018. And by the way, that includes the Patterson and Associates investment report this month, which is it's a really good report, additional information that we're being provided. Thank you very much, Jennifer. We have gifts, grants, and bequests on page on the screen, 102. Thank you very much. For those that don't require action, that's merely a for informational. Then we have expenditures over $50,000. We have a recommendation to purchase 2 buses that will come. These are building blocks for next year's budget. These will be in the 2018-19 budget, but they will be purchased via buy board. The cost of the Type A Collins bus is $58,469. The cost of special needs 54-passenger bus is $96,195. We have the service supply equipment and service bid, athletic equipment and supplies supplemental 2 RFP 1712803-180 to approve the vendor list. Contract will be effective March 1st, 2018 through February 28th, 2019. We have the instructional materials allotment and TEAC certification for 2018-19. This is annually, something that we do. Appreciate those who work on that project. We have the TASB Media Role nominations, and I'd like to identify those all. We each year nominate members of our local media who help us share information with our community, and we appreciate their efforts at providing accurate, fair, and balanced information to our community. So recommendation is to nominate Tony Adams, sports editor for the Belton Journal, David Tunema, publisher of the Belton Journal, Curtis Quillen, is that right? I didn't say his name right. Yeah. Sports reporter for KCN TV, Alex Cano, Bell County Bureau Chief and reporter for KWTX TV News 10, Hunter Davis, reporter from KXXV News Channel 25, and Mario Williams, education reporter who's with us tonight with the Temple Daily Telegram. We appreciate their efforts and want to submit their names to the TASB Media Honor Roll. We have the extension of interlocal agreement with Belton ISD for graduation image magnification. We do that each year for graduation. We have the low attendance day waiver for February 20th, 2018 for North Belton Middle School, as we discussed previously. And we have the award of bid for RCSP 1801905-180 for the Belton High School roofing project, Project C, to be done summer 2018. Approving the expenditure and budget amendment, I want to make sure I'm saying this right, and authorizing the superintendent to negotiate and execute a contract. So that to be awarded to Empire Roofing Company as presented. And as Jared mentioned, we're going to put that in consent, so we don't need to hear from Holland Kenneth because we already have. And this is continuing out and finishing out the project.
Will be the last
This is
phase
the
of the
final
high
phase of that
school
project. We also have the acceptance and closeout of Lakewood Elementary School HVAC replacement project and approval of final payment of $15,040.50, which, by the way, is below the estimated cost. And we have a pre-K tuition rate increase for 2018-19 to approve a tuition rate of $475 per month for 10 months or $4,750 annually for the 2018-19 school year. Might be noted that is still below comparable programs. And then finally, we have a resolution and participation agreement to open a tax pool prime account. Is there a motion to approve? We have a motion from Ms. Jordan, second from Mr. Camden. All in favor of the motion, raise a hand. Passes unanimously. Superintendent's report. Took us a while to segue to you.
Yes, a little, we're moving a little slow. I wanted to take just a few minutes this evening to review a document that I received at the Fast Growth Schools Coalition Conference at the end of February. It's really an excellent study of the economic impact of fast growth school districts in Texas. So I'm going to go quickly, starting at the beginning on page 4 in the executive summary, and hit some of the highlights for you. And if I go too quickly, you can slow me down and ask any clarifying questions that you have. But Texas economy is one of the strongest performing economies in the country, second only to California in terms of GDP. And if it were its own country, we would be the 10th largest economy in the world. Significant. And that position of strength has been dubbed the Texas Miracle. Texas's growth is not just isolated to population and employment, but extends to housing markets, retail spending, physical infrastructure, and indeed our Texas schools. Fast Growth Schools Coalition was founded in 1996 to represent us and to educate policymakers on the unique needs of fast growth school districts. And as you heard tonight in our capital projects list, we do have some unique needs because we are growing so rapidly. In Texas, there were 75 designated fast growth school districts during the 2015-2016 academic year. It's still approximately 75 districts, and that's represents about 7.3% of all school districts across the state. So we're among a very small group of districts that has this designation. And those fast growth school districts enrolled 33.4% of all students statewide, and enrolled 78.5% of all new students in the 15-16 school year. So what we're experiencing is really unique. On the next page, on page 5, you can see where Belton ISD lies, kind of in the center. But I wanted to point out that there are just a couple of school districts near us that are fast growth school districts. China Spring ISD in the Waco area, Bastrop ISD and some others in the Austin area. But right here in 15-16, it was Belton ISD. We had 11,547 students enrolled this year at Snapshot. That was 431 students over last year. And if you've heard of the Texas Triangle, which is that area from Dallas to Houston, Austin, and San Antonio, you can kind of see that by the demonstration of that growth. You could literally draw a triangle over those fastest growing areas in the state. On the next page, page 6, from 2000 to 2014, approximately $33.1 billion was invested in construction projects in fast growth school districts. And the result of that is 26,810 jobs Each year, about $24.7 billion in labor incomes were paid out and about $70.5 billion in increased economic activity, all of which originated with the direct spending from fast growth school districts. And that has an impact on our housing markets. And for families, finding the right school district is, finding the right home is all about finding the right school district. So the next section there talks about how home appreciation values are higher in fast growth school districts, and about 50% of non-family home buyers opt to live within school districts to take advantage of strong appreciation of home values that are associated with such school districts. And some families are willing to spend beyond their budgets to live in fast growth school districts. And so you see those appraisal values going up. On the next page, just to mention that school districts, fast growth school districts are critical drivers of economic growth, and you can see those reasons there. Making Texas more competitive for businesses, preparing students to enter the workforce, making Texas more attractive for young families, strengthening the local housing markets, and improving the overall quality of life. Moving on to page 10, would like to point out that Texas grew by 430,000 people in 2016. And about half, about 49% was from births, net births, and about 51% originated from people moving into Texas from other areas of the country and abroad. So we often get asked, where are these people coming from? And that's a hard question always to answer, because some of it's natural growth and some of it are people migrating in. As Texas continues to grow and attract people from all around the world, Texas school districts will continue to grow and face the challenges that are posed by fast-growing regions. And there is no slowing in sight, according to this study. It shows that the population growth in Texas will reach 8.6% over the next 5 years, while the United States is only expected to grow by 4.8%, so faster than the nation's growth. On page 11, the average home price in Texas was about $260,000 when this report was completed. And if you went all the way to the end and looked at the individual page for Belton ISD, the average new home in Belton is about $226,000. And then the bottom of that page really talks to the INS rate and the challenges that fast growth school districts face as compared to other districts who aren't growing as rapidly. And that is one of the challenges. Our taxpayers are paying for new facilities to support the growth. Do you want to add?
Government supports economic development and new jobs coming, but they don't support the infrastructure provided for the local communities, and it becomes necessary for local taxpayers to fund the infrastructure for the growth.
That's correct. And
under our current system.
That is correct. And we've been able to do that. Our community has supported us in growing, but it is a challenge for us, and our taxpayers are kind of shouldering that burden of that. The next page, on page 12, speaks to the need for high-quality education and the emphasis that will be placed on the quality of schools across the state. And so we want to continue to get better so that we can serve the people who are moving into our community. On page 14, I won't review all of that with you, but I do want to point out that 7% of districts comprise 36% of all school construction spending. And our spending on construction impacts not only jobs in the community, but purchases that we make for assets and instructional supplies. Page 16, you can see that fast growth school districts are purchasing about 41% of all acquisition of fixed assets. On page 17, about 27% of all instructional equipment and supplies. And then on page 18, 34% of all other equipment expenditures. So the economic impact of construction by fast-growth school districts is significant. And then the report goes on to talk about housing markets. We all know about that the influence of the fast growth in our area, and housing price increases in our boundaries because of the demand and people wanting to move into our community. And then the quality. That quality is important in how people want that. On page 23, right in the center, you can see, I don't know if Rachel's with me. There you go. Right in the center there, you can see our school district, page 23 of the report, right there. You can see us right in the center below Waco. That's us. And page 24 just again emphasizes that fast growth school districts will remain some of the fastest growing population centers in Texas. So that's a broader look at the state of Texas and where that growth is occurring. And so I think I'll end, just for time's sake, with just a note on that sheet that's specifically Belton ISD, that this study showed that the economic impact from 2000 to 2014 for Belton ISD was $412 million, almost $500 million, based on the growth of this school district to the community. And so that's a significant impact. We know that's going to increase. That was prior to this last bond election. And our activity is certainly impacting the greater community. Questions you have about that? I thought it was a great report.
It's a great report. Appreciate you sharing this, not only electronic, but a hard copy for us. This is information that really quantifies and gives hard data for what we know. But economic impact of the fast growth school district is significant. There really is some great information in here about what the state should be doing and what it's having to do also.
We've shared this with our economic development councils in our cities. Bob Templeton and his team will be here next month to present our spring update for you. And then they're also going to present to the Temple Economic Development Council the day after our board meeting. So we want to keep them informed as well. You have a question, Ty?
One real quick
Yeah.
question. When we talk about these projects that we have that go out to bid, and we talk about the local impact that these things have, because we do ask our local taxpayers to fund these things. What consideration do we put into, let's say we're bidding sheetrock, and there's a company out of San Antonio that has the cheapest bid, but there's a local company that's close. Do we give consideration to those type of things?
We do.
So it's definitely something that we'll be able to put our finger on really well with the senior risk, because we will bring back, here's sheetrock, and here's the 8 bids, and here's who provides the best value, and some of that will be local use. All the contractors that we interviewed, and we asked them questions about local participation in the subs, as well as we already know that with the subs that we've gotten on the elementary school and Lakewood and Wall Street, they're using local subs.
But we're not bound by cheapest bid. We can select
Best value.
That
what's
is
best
correct.
for our overall, okay.
That is correct. Great question.
We've had a long-standing priority to take care of our local business, local taxpayers. Very
And
important.
Jared was correct when we interviewed our contractors. That was one of our questions, that we
Good
were
question.
interested in knowing how they would address it.
Local impact.
There absolutely is, yes. Okay, the last item I have is just to mention that STAR testing is coming up, and so this is our testing season. STAR testing begins the week of April 9th. April 10th is a writing assessment for grades 4 and 7, math for grade 5 and 8, and our EOC English 1. And then on Wednesday, April 11th, we will have reading, grades 5 and 8. And we know that our students still have to pass. We still have SSI in effect, where grades 5 and 8 students have to pass in order to be promoted to the next grade level, and they're given 3 opportunities to do so. Sophomores are going to take the English 2 EOC on Thursday, April the 12th. And then we'll have retesting for EOC exams for algebra, biology, and U.S. history beginning May the 8th. We also have the TELPAS, the Texas English Language Proficiency Assessment System, that already started on February 26th, that will run through April the 6th. And we will be participating on April the 2nd in the STAR Alternate 2 Assessment for Special Education students. So it is testing season in Texas schools.
Indeed.
That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Todd, you want to give us a report on human resources?
Sir, thank you. We bring forth one recommendation tonight for Administrator Associate Principal at Belton High School, Jesus Uranga. And hopefully he showed up a little bit before the board meeting. Hopefully you had a chance to meet with him. And that is the recommendation tonight. We also have two teachers that we hired this month. One of them, a former Belton High School graduate, Megan Blackwood. And we also have 8 resignations that are part of the report.
Great. And
We have 26 positions we're looking for next school year.
good deal. So a reminder, we haven't been acting on new hires, but this is an administrative one, and so we do.
That's correct.
Need to act on that. That we did retain that one, so would entertain a motion to approve the recommendation presented. Have a motion from Mr. Cowan and second from Ms. Lee. Any comments or questions? All in favor of the motion, raise a hand. Passes unanimously. Thank you. We'll
All right, thank you.
welcome him and appreciate the opportunity to meet him earlier. Okay, Harvey Allen, McCreary, Vaselka, Bragg, and Allen is here for annual good news. Harvey works hard for us in helping make sure that all of our taxpayers pay their equal share. I do want to mention Chris Floor has been serving as our representative on the Bell County Tax Appraisal Board, and we appreciate Chris's work in that regard. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here. Sorry I'm a month late. Unfortunately, I had a scheduling conflict. Otherwise, I'd have been here in February, but
that's all right.
I knew you guys are going to be here this month, and that
We're
group was
here
only
every
there last month. So
We're always here.
There it is. But your numbers didn't change any. Again, thank you for the introduction. Again, I'm Harvey Allen, McCurry, Vaselka, Bragg, and Allen. Our law firm represents the Tax Appraisal District of Bell County, which collects the property taxes for all of the taxing units here in Bell County. In addition to, and I'll just make my one additional plug here before I get started. Not only do I think that we contribute to the financial success of the Belton Independent School District, we also contribute directly to the BEEF, the Belton Education Foundation. We do that each and every year, and we are proud to do so.
Thank you very much.
Starting on page 3 of your report. Which is chart number 1. There it is. This is a chart reflecting total revenues received by the Belton ISD during each of the last 4 fiscal years, ending 8/31, of course. At the bottom of the table, you see the adjusted tax levy for each of the last 4 tax years that have already been completed. Again, I use the adjusted tax levy as opposed to the original tax levy because while the school district sets its tax rate for each of these years based upon the certified values from the appraisal district. Subsequent to that, there are adjustments that are made to the appraisal district roll, which either increase or decrease the amount of tax that's actually outstanding to be collected. And so therefore, the adjusted tax levy is actually the amount of tax levied by the Belton ISD at the end of each of those fiscal years. And again, it's the most appropriate because that's actually the amount of money out there to be collected. The next column, you see the current and delinquent tax collections. That is the base tax. Obviously, most of that, vast majority of that, was collected currently before it ever became delinquent. But it does include some of the work by our firm. Then you see the penalties and interest that were collected on those delinquent taxes that were collected. You see the total revenue and then the percentage of revenue opposed to the adjusted tax levy. And for each of the last 4 fiscal years, and actually beyond that, or prior to that, I should say, the district has always received in excess of 100% of its adjusted tax levy. And I think I always say this is the most important chart in here because it lets the administration and the board know exactly how much money they can anticipate receiving from property tax collections.
And
Any
that is
questions?
important.
Sir?
That is very important as we're planning not only for budgeting, but for setting tax rates and projecting our growth.
Are there any questions from any members of the board on chart number 1? If not, then I'm going to move on to chart number 2. Chart number 2 just gives you again the adjusted tax levy for each of the last 4 tax years. And the amount that it's due on was remaining due on December 31st of 2017. Again, it's cumulative. And as you can see, the cumulative collection of that tax levy through December 31st of 17 and the cumulative percentages that have been collected from that tax. What you see there is only the base tax. There are no penalties and interest collected for all these, and for most of these current tax collections done by the tax appraisers of Bell County, some portion of it done by my firm. But you see the percentages there, anywhere from 99.29 for 2016 through 99.74 of 2013. And as this board has heard me say any number of times, that you can extrapolate those percentages out as far as you'd like to. They'll never get to be 100% because there is a very small percentage of the roll that is uncollectible, usually before the first bill is sent out. But nevertheless, as you can see, you're getting a very high percentage of your adjusted tax levy collected, certainly by the end of the 4th year. On chart number 3, there you have just the work of my law firm, collecting those delinquent taxes that were referred to us. For the most part, they're referred to us on July 1st of the first year of delinquency. And you see the amount of delinquent taxes that was referred to us for each of the last 4 years, the tax amounts that remain outstanding for each of those years, the cumulative collection and the cumulative collection percentage, as well as the number of months of collection activity. As you can see, you go down to 2013. At that point, we collected 86.64% of those taxes that were referred to us, and that means the district has got 99.74% of your adjusted levy. Are there any questions from any members of the board on chart numbers 2 or 3? Okay. Then I'm going to go to charts 6 and 7. Actually, I apologize. I guess I should start on chart number 4. Charts 4, 5, 6, and 7, which are on separate pages for you, I suppose. But anyway, what those charts are meant to show is the status of those taxes remain outstanding. The green portions of those charts is exactly what you just saw on chart number 3. And as you can see, as you go around, you start up here on chart number 4 with the 2016 tax year, and you go over to chart number 7, which is the 2013 year, and you see the progression of collections procedures taking their effect until you get over to chart number 7, where you have 86.64% of the delinquent taxes collected, and you don't have a lot outstanding other than that. If you go on to chart number 8, chart number 8 is a cumulative, and 9 are cumulative of all the other charts that are in here. It reflects the amount of delinquent taxes outstanding for BISD as of 12/31/17. You had $101.1 million outstanding. That represents 20 years worth of taxes collected. Actually, as you can see there at the bottom on chart number 9, the amount of delinquent taxes actually decreased slightly, not much, but it decreased slightly from the same period last year, even though the amount of delinquent taxes actually turned over to us actually increased. So we actually had a percentage increase in collecting of delinquent taxes. But anyway, Chart number 9 there, well, gives you the distribution of the delinquent taxes by tax year going around. And again, to put that in perspective, going back to charts 2 and 3, for the 15 taxes, there's still $136,000 remaining outstanding. But at that point, the district has received 99.61 of your adjusted levy, and we've collected almost 77% of the delinquent taxes that were referred to us. Go down to 13, now you're at 99.74%, and 86% of the delinquent taxes have been collected. If you go to chart number 8 at the top of the page, there you'll see the status of the delinquent taxes outstanding by collection status. You see the amount that's under suit, judgment, etc. I would bring to the board's attention two of the portions of those pies. Number one, the blue portion is the tax deferred portion. By tax deferred, I mean it is actually deferred. Under Texas law, a person who is 65 years of age or older, or who is disabled, has an absolute right to defer the taxes that on their homestead property. And as long as it remains their homestead property, then we are prohibited from initiating any collection activity on those taxes. Again, they will eventually be collected. They're merely deferred as soon as that property is no longer the residence homestead of the property owner. The other portion of that pie is, of course, the yellow portion, which deals with basically insolvent personal property, businesses that are no longer here. They are closed, they have no assets, the owners have no personal liability, and in essence, they are uncollectible in any circumstance you'd like to name. So that's one of the reasons, again, of my earlier comment, that you can extrapolate numbers out as far as you want to. They'll never get to be 100%, mainly because of the yellow portion of that pie that you see. Any questions on chart number 8 or 9 from the board?
Real quick,
Yes, sir.
On the tax deferrals, the over 65, you said they can defer it, eventually it gets paid. At what point does it get paid? At the sale of the property at some point?
Well, by whatever means, the property is no longer their homestead. The property owner passes away, they move off. They can actually lose it by going to a assisted living or nursing facility. The legislature has said that they can be gone from the homestead for up to 3 years before they lose that homestead exemption. So, but those are, usually most of those things occur by death, unfortunately, of the property owner. And the other thing that's unfortunate for that is many times I have seen where the heirs of the property owner were unaware that the decedent had deferred their taxes, and they get a very unpleasant surprise, particularly if there's been a number of years deferred, and it creates a significant financial issue for the for the heirs of the decedent. However, it does in fact provide the protection that the legislature intended, and that is that no one over 65 years, or no one 65 years of age or older or disabled is being taxed out of their home, because they can defer their taxes. Any other questions?
What happens if there's no heirs?
Ma'am?
What happens if there's no heirs? If the property owner is deceased, they don't have any.
Well, that's fairly unusual because, while there may be no direct descendants under the laws of intestate succession, you go back up the chain to mom and dad, and that spreads out to siblings and down there. So at some point, it would be highly unusual if there were no heirs at law at all. It is very rare you run into that. Any other questions? If not, the second half of the report, and I'm not going to go through that, you can read that at your leisure. The one thing that I would like to point out to the board is on page 15 of your report. And that is that's the tax sales that have been initiated from July 1/15 through December 31st of 17. Again, this is the ultimate remedy that we have to encourage individuals to pay. So we had to post 122 properties for sale during that period of time. Fortunately, we really only had to sell 61 of them. The others, or 53 of them anyway, came in to pay before the sale date. I would tell the board that we do have to post homestead properties for sale because despite our best efforts, and it is usually, not usually, sometimes it takes the property owner to actually receive the notice in the sale that their home is going to be sold before they actually come through the door and make an acceptable installment payment agreement. We have never sold a homestead here in Belton ISD. We don't intend to, but that's what has to happen in order to get people to actually come through the door. What does in fact get sold, for the most part, is vacant properties and commercial properties and rental properties. Those we do in fact sell and have done so. So, again, that's the ultimate remedy. No one likes that remedy. I certainly don't, but it is a necessary part of the collection tools that we have. Any questions?
Any question? I meant to say this at the beginning. I want to say it again, especially for those who haven't been through this process before. We don't directly contract with them. We work with the Bell County Appraisal Board, who contracts directly with them. However, I think over the years, one of the things we've proven, and Mr. Allen has proven to us, that he works for us and works for our taxpayers in making sure that we get equitable and fair treatment from all of our taxpayers, so that we're all have equal share in that work. So we appreciate the work that you do. And what I was going to add on that is, and it doesn't cost us anything. None of this costs us anything. We don't pay a fee for this. This is, they get their fees from those that they're collecting from. And
That's
so
correct.
we actually, this is a service comes to us, and again, getting the tax collections is so important to us, but having a firm that's able to do that for us at no cost to us or our taxpayers is a significant thing. So thank you for your service. Thank you for a good, long tenure of service. And again, we thank the Bell County Appraisal District Board for their work on our behalf. So,
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here. Hope to see you next year.
thank you. Good deal. Okay, Jennifer, come talk to us. Debbie's been so patient.
Debbie. Good evening, President Pittenger, board members, Dr. Kincannon. I want to, first of all, just commend you as board members and administration for taking this step and the interest in having a construction auditor to help us control costs and be that third eye or that second the oversight for our construction projects. So thank you for doing this. But I have Debbie Townsend with me here from Townsend and Associates, and I just want to give her an opportunity to briefly explain what a construction audit is about and what their role is.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say that I have been impressed with Belton ISD during the last year. A year ago, Angela called me and asked me if I might be able to help with the contract and the RFP, just take a look at it and see if there was any tweaking. And I did that, and that is really the smartest thing that a school district can do. Not necessarily me, but just getting an outside view on that, because there's so many loopholes in these construction contracts. So that was really a smart move. And then it was especially nice when they called me back and asked me about doing audit of that particular project, or the two projects, but primarily the high school project. So I'm excited about that, and I'm coming back down next month to look at the GMP. So I think this is great. The best way, in our opinion, to do an audit is to really from the beginning, because the two main areas where you can really control the cost, one is with the contract, and the second is with the GMP. And the third is just, all the costs that go out through the pay app. And so to have somebody involved, and like I said, it doesn't matter who, but somebody involved from the very beginning before you get the contract out is really the way to do it. That's the best way best practice way of getting an auditor involved. So I'm really appreciative of that opportunity. Do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions, but I do want to add, this is an important thing. We've talked about this from way back before we called the bond election, that this was something that we were going to want to do. This was a lot of money. We want to be good stewards of the taxpayer dollars. And one of the things that we committed to early was that we wanted to have you engaged. And you mentioned Angela. Angela's done a great job of monitoring our contracts and helping us review them. But she came to us and said, we need that one more special look at, and feedback we've gotten was that was very helpful, and we again think that's part of the package of our being good stewards of the public trust. Thank you for your lending your expertise to helping us make sure that we scrutinize everything. Jennifer, I appreciate your willingness to work your staff and your books and make sure that we're doing just the right thing. This is a lot of money. It's a very important project for our community, but it's very important that we have very high level of scrutiny of these dollars. So thank you for that, and Jennifer, appreciate you bringing this proposal to us. The recommendation is to approve the expenditure and authorize superintendent to execute an agreement with R.L. Townsend Associate, although I think we're actually approving it and paying it now. So we're not really authorizing you to execute it, we're actually approving it, right? Yeah.
So you're approving the agreement.
Right. Yeah. So what we're going to do is to approve the contract with R.L. Townsend and Associates as presented. Is there a motion? Motion, Mr. Camden. Second from Mr. Norwood. Any other comments or questions? All in favor of the motion, raise your hand. That is unanimous, and we were planning and expecting. Thank you for being here again. Thank you for waiting through the meeting so that you could learn a little bit more about us.
Yeah, this has been great. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Jennifer. Okay, Angela, you want to talk about policy update 110, first reading. This is a relatively simple one compared to the last one, at least.
I really don't have much to say about it. The only local policy that the board will consider has to do with updating all the dates in BBB local and making sure that the language in that local policy matches the statutory language. The other things were just pretty boilerplate, making sure, TASB's just making sure we're in compliance with the election code.
Okay, thank you, Angela. Appreciate your work always on those items. You take good care of us. Okay, board members, do you have any issues or concerns for future agenda or administrative reports? Any follow-up or information that you would like? Jeff?
No.
Janet? Mike?
No, sir.
Sue? No. Hi.
Just whatever those. few
All that
things
stuff that
we
we've talked about?
Those
Yeah.
kind of the smaller projects that probably
Yeah.
have an imminent,
Yeah.
need, maybe.
You got it.
Yeah, great idea. A little follow-up back on that conversation that we had. Okay, a couple things I want to just mention. One, Susan sent out information, or Connie, I guess, has about the new Tier 4 training that is required of all board members. But what's significant about that is if the board does it all together, that can count as the Tier 2 team building training. So you double count the same training if you do it together. It is offered on the Wednesday evening prior to SLI, which we have traditionally done prior going to that conference on Thursday and Friday. But if you go Wednesday evening, we've done legislative updates. So if you, as a board, including Chris, will commit to attending all together, that you will take care of both statutory requirements for your training.
June 13th.
June 13th. Thank you. I didn't know the date. So is there a consensus you all can consent to that, agree to that? Yes. I would highly recommend you do that. That makes your life a lot easier. Take care of two things. Good deal.
Then that's a plan.
Our next regular meeting, and Connie will get with you in terms of your travel needs and plans about all that, but it sounds like everybody's going to arrive on Wednesday. That's the plan. Our next regular meeting is April 16th, and there are lots of events. So encourage everybody to be up on those. We've been on the fourth Monday for the last 3 months, and so we're actually going back to the third. So it's going to be short. It's a short time to get to our next meeting this time, but we're getting back on the what is our typical schedule here next month. Okay, next on the agenda tonight is the consideration of the independent hearing examiner's record and recommendation in TEA docket number 025 LH122017, Belton Independent School District versus Yvette Flores, which was received on March 21st, 2018. The board will now adjourn to closed session to consider the hearing examiner's record and recommendation, which concerns the proposed termination of an employee, Yvette Flores, and to deliberate according to board policy DFD legal and DFD local as provided for in section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code. We're going to go into closed session, and a little bit unusual, we're going to ask you all to leave so we can stay in here for that. We will return to open session prior to adjournment and to take any action. So if y'all don't mind, apologize for the inconvenience that may cause. If you're not going to hang around, thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. Okay, it is 8:04, and we will reconvene in open session. Is the court reporter ready? Thank you. Appreciate you. It is my recommendation that the board adopt the independent hearing examiner's recommendations as presented and terminate Yvette Flores' term contract with the district. Is there a motion? I have a motion for Mr. Taggart, second for Mr. Camden. Is there any other comments or questions? I believe we need a record vote on this, so we'll take a record vote. Taggart? Affirmative, yes or no? Yes. If you would state that. Yeah. Yes. Mr. Camden?
Yes.
Would you, Ms. Jordan, would you like to?
Yes.
Okay, y'all are turning your mic on, so I don't know whether you're ready for me. Mr. Cowan?
Yes.
Ms. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Norwood?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. That vote is unanimous, 7-0, and the motion carries to terminate Yvette Flores' term contract with the district effective immediately. At this time, the hearing is concluded at 8:06 p.m. Okay, that is that. We have no further business, and so at 8:06 p.m., this meeting's adjourned. Thank you all.